Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do something special tonight. I'm going to do a live stream about Daisy May's synchronistic birthday party, or something known as synchronicity. And that is it's a term that was coined a very long time ago, and it means when everything goes not just according to plan, but more than that. So I'm going to wait for a few people to get online, and then I will start this live show. But this live show is going to be good morning, Scott. This live show is going to be two parts. I'm going to do about an hour of talking about Daisy May's birthday party, and the events that led up to a most interesting evening. And it was her 25th birthday, so and we celebrated it in Alona Beach. And then I'm going to end this live stream, and we're going to talk about low IQ bloggers in the Philippines. And I'm going to talk about IQ and the relative nature of low IQ bloggers and how they believe their ignorance is somehow funny. So that's going to be probably about an hour from now. And you all know who I'm going to portray. But if you don't, then come back when I start my second live stream. We have things to say about this fella, or otherwise known as the Ladyboy Hunter in Manila. And if you don't know who I'm talking about, well, come back in an hour and a half and you'll know. So this is Michael Fazio and
Daisy May.
in the Philippines, baby. So to start off, with, Daisy and I got ready to go out for to have dinner in Alona Beach, which is close by. And personally, as much as there isn't anything to do here in the Philippines, Alona Beach has a great deal of things to do, such as there's many different types of restaurants, but we found a new restaurant called Payag, Payag, where they have it seems that they have the best Filipino food in Alona Beach. So that's where we were going to be headed when we got to Alona Beach. But we first decided to walk around and check out a new pizza place, which was basically empty, and we couldn't see the size of the pizza or what the pizza looked like because there was no one sitting at a table. So we decided against eating there, and plus time was running short because Daisy May wanted to do Zumba. And Zumba is something that occurs in Alona Beach, but apparently during the Christmas holidays, Zumba has been uh, put on hold because of the Christmas and the what would they call gala shows in Alona Beach. And each night there's a different show. And last night's show happened to be, what was that, like Hawaiian dances, yeah?
Hawaiian dance.
Hawaiian dance show, which was pretty cool. And I have a short video of that. The lighting wasn't good from the angle. I don't know how it's going to come out, but I'll have that posted later on. So what we were doing was we were going to, being that we weren't going to have the pizza and Payag was, we left the Payag restaurant and to go towards the Zumba. When we realized that there was not going to be any Zumba, we were taking a walk. And we were walking down the main road past McDonald's, which is almost finished, and there was a stoop. Now I'm not gonna mention any names because apparently, far be it from me, far be it from me. Good morning, Scott Del Fuego. Far be it from me to ruffle anybody's feathers, but apparently, for some reason, and I probably could have asked why that they were upset with me, but I, I let it go, which is not like me. And I kind of let it go because I was got involved with a conversation with a fellow that's been watching my videos named Maxwell. Apparently, he's has the same mental acuity as Anthony from Completely Disinterested, and several others, Jack Thompson, and several other people that have been following my videos over the year, John Parrish, that he remembered every video I ever did and everything I ever did in any video, and I just found that amazing. So how this occurred what was the term synchronistic event. It means when more than several events occur at the same time to cause um, to cause a series or a chain of events that make everything seemingly like everything was supposed to happen. In other words, in the Philippines, they use the term God's will, but they use the term God's will when they when they find your money and don't give it back, or when you drop something and they find it and they know that it's yours and they walk away with it. They say it's God's will, but in 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 a in the Eastern in in the Western society, it's God's will. I mean, everything goes smooth. So I'm walking down the block, and I have no intention whatsoever of going into this restaurant that serves hamburgers. Okay, uh, I already had my last hamburger experience in Laguna Beach just a few months ago. So, but what I do have a video, and I'm going to post it. The people on my YouTube accounts and my Patreon and people who come to my live streams, I often say, I'm going to take my glasses off so I could look directly at you because this is stranger than truth. Okay. In America, you go to jail for certain things, and certain things will have your business shut down or at least some kind of fine levied against your business that would probably, destroy several months' income. So we were gonna. My intention was to walk down to the beach, honey. Excuse me, honey. Is the water warming up?
Not yet. I just.
Okay, good. All right. So I have to soak my foot for at least a half an hour in steeping hot water. So we were gonna walk down to the beach, and I saw the restaurant in question, and I had no intention whatsoever of going into the restaurant. And this is where the synchronistic event occurs. So now I look at the staircase, which is I think 5 steps. Maybe the top is the 6th step. And on the staircase, now you wouldn't believe, you're not going to believe what I'm telling you. You're not going to believe what I tell you, and I've made it so clear in so many videos that Philippines is different. They don't abide by the Western thought process. So I'm looking at the staircase, and on the top step, okay, on the top step of the staircase is it's a I think it's a female extension cord plug. I think it was 2 or 3 prongs. Okay, I didn't have my glasses on, so I don't know if it was 2 or 3, but it wasn't one. So it's sitting on the top of the step. You have to imagine this is the step, right? And then coming out of the extension cord, but it was coming out of the top, was a cord like this, an extension cord coming out, and then eventually laying down on the top step. But so basically, what you have is a tripwire. It's known as a tripwire, and it could trip. It could trip and set off a trap. It could trip you and make you fall. It could trip in a tripwire can, in military terms, is something that pulls a pin out of some sort of explosive device and it blows you up. So what you have on the top step, right in the middle of the step, you have this extension cord, which is about an inch high, and a plug going vertical from really it was going vertical like this, and then this wire coming down on the steps. And I looked at it, and being that it was a restaurant that I no longer associate with, I look at it and I go, jeez, man, I don't even know what OSHA would do in America. I have no idea what OSHA would do for something like that. I don't know if there'd be a fine. I don't know if they would. I don't know. I mean, there would be consequences for having something like this. This is on the top step of a. This is the main entrance to the restaurant too. So I I look at it and I continue walking. I said, "Now I'm not going to get upset about this. I'm certainly not going to talk to the owner. We've already had our conversation. That's ancient history. So I'm going to go to the beach and just enjoy the maybe what's left of the sunset." So I'm looking at this, and I walk by it, and Daisy didn't see it, and I try to observe everything. When I used to operate cranes and backhoes, and when I operate heavy equipment, you have something that you have to, if to be an operator, you have to have a special kind of mind. You have to be able to look at every detail of everything everywhere on the job site, but not just on the job site. You also have to be aware of trucks coming in and out of the driveways, and you have to, because things change. You'll be operating the machine facing this way for 5 minutes or 5 hours, but the things behind you that were behind you when you pulled up onto the job site are different now. So I think Scott Del Fuego said that that's called situational awareness. I remember him saying that when I was walking down the block and some guy started walking towards me and he was stone cold naked in along the beach. And I was talking and I went like this because it took me by surprise. I mean, he's walking down the block and he's naked and he's walking straight towards me and looking straight at me. And I'm going, whoa. So I just kind of like backed up a little bit, and he just walked by me like he was taking a stroll in the park. So what my point is, you have to be aware of everything. So I always look on the street. I look at the sidewalks. I look at the people in the distance. I look down the alleys. This is a very family friendly place. So I am not worried about people jumping out of an alley and attacking us. I'm looking for motorcycles that are flying up and down the street because I don't hear that well. So I have to turn around often to see if there's a car or a motorcycle coming up behind me so I don't walk in front of the car. It used to be a pedestrian only street. And now that the Koreans and the Chinese and the Taiwan and Japanese have completely taken over the block, it's now a public traffic main thoroughfare. It's only 17 feet wide, which, if you went to complain about it, not going to do anything. I mean, there are motorcycles going down the block at 30 miles an hour through pedestrians. You'll see it in the video that I post later on. I mean, it's just amazing. There used to be a police station at the entrance to Along the Beach. It's gone, and they moved it over about 300, maybe 280 feet outside the beach, and they no longer monitor people that come in and out of along the beach at night on motor vehicles. So you could literally take a van, a motorcycle, or a car down there and not have any identification, where once it required identification. So it's making along the beach a very dangerous place for pedestrians, to say the least. So I continue my walk towards the beach, and I stop and I say, no, I got to make a video of this. This is priceless, because for many times in Carl Jung, that's correct. It's a Carl Jung. It's called a synchronistic event. That's correct, Scott. And for many times, um, for many times, I've said that the people in the Philippines think differently. And now nobody in the Philippines is ever going to stop and talk to the manager and say that wire is directly on the top step and somebody could trip on it going down the steps and get hurt. Nobody, no Filipinos ever going to say it. No police officer, no security guard, nothing. This wire is 3 inches, 2.5 to 3 inches up off the thing, and it's secured. Looked like it was going across. Either way, it's a tripwire. And so I said, no, I got to stop and make a video of this thing. So I back up, and Daisy kept going, and I said something to Daisy if she saw me. I'm not sure. The music there is so loud, and we're going to talk about noise pollution and along the beach. so loud you can't hear from 18 inches away. So I back up and I get the video and I face it towards this tripwire on the top step. And now I look up and everybody in the restaurant is looking at me making a video of the stairs. Now that you don't see in the video. And I become aware of people thinking that, what am I doing? Why am I taking a video of the stairs? The employees are watching me, and the patrons are watching me from the table. So now I'm like the center of attention. This big fat guy with an orange hat is making a video of a staircase with no one on it. Because it didn't click inside their minds that this is dangerous, or no one thought to make mention of it. So with that, I decide I'm going to leave. I'm just going to make a video. I walk, and then I said, now let me walk up onto the steps and do a close up of this. So now I do a close up of the extension cord, and I'm talking about this in the video. I don't remember what I said, but I'm thinking I'm talking into the camera, and I zoom down on it like this. Now now when I look up while the camera is facing down, I have actually become a spectacle to the entire. If anybody doesn't know what spectacle means, it's like I am the center stage. I've become a spectacle to everybody in the restaurant, which I could buy. Basically, I don't care because I'm doing what I do and they're doing what they do, and their ignorance is not allowing them to understand that the steps they just walked up on was dangerous. So I make the video and then I go, I'm gonna back down the stairs. And I said, you know what? Let me get the name of this restaurant in there also. So I kind of panned up and I wasn't paying attention to the people to the right anymore because I'm going to the left, because in the back is where the Zumba is, and that's where we're basically headed anyway. We were gonna go make a circuit through that and then eventually end up at the beach, because now I changed direction. So I'm walking and I had the camera, I think, on the name of the restaurant, and I hear the noise pollution in Alona Beach. I operated heavy equipment for my whole life, and at 100 plus decibels. I can't even begin to tell you that the noise pollution in Alona Beach makes what I did sitting inside a crane or sitting on top of twin 671s, roaring at 2,400 RPM or 2,200 RPM with no mufflers, with broken mufflers. I can't tell you that the noise pollution in Alona Beach makes that sound like a walk in the park. So I hear, "Get over here, Michael Fazio," and a guy grabs my arm, but the intonation of the voice was not. It was not. There was no angst or animosity or anger in the voice. So I just kind of like looked over, and it's this a black man, and I had seen him and his girlfriend when I was on the staircase looking at me, and I didn't pay much attention to it. There's people from all over the world in the restaurant, and when I hear, "Get over here, Michael Fazio," when I'm walking back towards the back Zumba, and he grabs my arm, and I look at him, and there's this guy smiling at me like with a big giant set of white teeth, and he goes, "I've been waiting for you," and and he's going, "We came to Alona Beach to meet you," and I'm going, "Who are you?" And he tells me in this Australian accent, which I couldn't hear or understand. He tells me his name, and then he introduces me to his girlfriend, and I couldn't understand her name either. So I'm saying, he's going, I've watched every one of your videos. He goes, "You," and he goes on to explain what he thinks about my videos, he actually remembers, like if I pick any video that I ever made, any video I ever made, Maxwell was the name of the man. Maxwell could tell you how the video started, what else was in the video, and how the video ended. If I asked him, "Do you remember this part?" "Oh yeah, I remember that part of the video." "And then you did this or did that." So he goes, "Sit down, have a drink." So I said, "No, this isn't a good place for me to be." He goes, "Sit down." He was really adamant about it. "Sit down, have a drink with me." So I sit down, and then I called Daisy May over, and Daisy May came over, and Maxwell's girlfriend's name was Angelus. Angelus?
Anjali.
Angelique. Even last night, no matter how many times I heard her name, the noise pollution in Luna Beach is disgusting. So Daisy sits next to Angeli, and I sit next to Maxwell, and we start talking about videos. He's going, I came to Alona Beach. Now I might have to cut that part out because he doesn't want his name, he doesn't want his face to be on YouTube. So when I get to that part, I may just have to cut his close up of his face because I was moving the camera around. I don't even know that I had his face in it because I was kind of like panning the restaurant. So we sit down, and Daisy and Angeli hit it off like instantly because why? They're Filipinos. And Maxwell and I hit it off instantly. This guy was smiling and giggling and talking about we've been coming to Alona Beach every night, waiting for you to come, as if this is something I do every night. And I guess if you're a tourist, you'd go to Alona Beach every night. So what it was is later on I took Maxwell. Now everything that this is a black man from Australia, and everything that I have stated on YouTube about the Philippines, we went over during the conversation that lasted from 6 o'clock until 10 o'clock, 4 hours, and we had dinner together, we had drinks together. So everything that I said about everything I've ever said about the Philippines, happy birthday from Sasha. Thank you, Sasha. Warren, we'll get to you in one moment. Warren, you made Daisy's night. So thank you for that. And Daisy's gonna display those beautiful earrings for you in a moment. Um, New Drew Edwards, help, hello. Okay, so everything that I've ever said about the Philippines and the Filipinos here, Maxwell and I kick back and forth, and he's in total agreement. The understanding of reality to the people in the Philippines is completely different than that of the Western world. There's no comparison. Maxwell is a businessman in Australia. So, excuse me, I can't hear you.
In New Zealand.
In New Zealand. Okay, well, actually, he lives between the north and the south part of Australia on an island somewhere. I didn't actually get, he told me the name of the island, but I didn't hear it. I tried that. So when I tell you that people in the Philippines, when I told you that the water coming out of the street, and he saw that video when he saw that part of the life, and I said, "Could you imagine the people walking by that just one person after another, knowing that the water went to somebody's house who they've been friends with since they were born and not saying anything?" And he laughed because that's how it is here in the Philippines. So, in other words, I'm not agreeing with Maxwell because he's an intelligent businessman. We agree with each other because that's the way it is here in the Philippines. So, for some reason, they put a free beer in front of me. I thought Maxwell bought it for me. So he's going, "No, that's like gratis." So I said, "Okay." And we said thank you and to the lady that brought it, and we sat down at the table, and now the waiters and the waitresses, they looked at, you'd see them look at me one time, and then look at the floor, and then they gather around in a group. I must have said something that they didn't like, but I don't know what it was. I say a lot of things. Good morning, Dennis Adam. So for an hour, Maxwell and I kicked this conversation back and forth about the Philippines and that how it's a dangerous place that there are holes in the street. He saw the psychics in the Philippines video where there are 4 foot by 5 foot holes, 4 and 5 feet deep with rebar at the bottom. He saw that video, and we were laughing. We laughed at every stupid thing I ever made a video of. Sewers that you can back into when you're backing out of the church parking lot, walking through the streets of Cebu, and the way they treat you. You're paying 2,500 pesos for a room in Cebu, and uh, it's 10 feet away. There's 14 men with jackhammers working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and they won't give you back your money, and they won't give you a discount on the room. So we were laughing at all of that stuff. So when we're leaving, I bring them over to the wire that he saw. And I said, can you believe this? And the two of us just looked at each other, and there was nothing to say. It's like, how ridiculous is this? Why? We laughed. We probably laughed for about 30 seconds, and then we moved on. He wanted to have fish, seafood. And I said to him, that restaurant is very expensive. He goes, come on, I'll buy you dinner. And I'm going, no, not there. No, those prices in that restaurant are 1,500 pesos for a meal. I think it's Japanese. 1,500 pesos for per meal. I says, I'm not going to let you buy me dinner there. I don't even want you to buy me dinner. So, yes, Warren. As soon as I get to you, Warren, Daisy was gleaming all night, Warren. The hair that she normally wears in for all night long, Warren, like this with the hair, all night with the hair on each ear. Look at my earrings. Look at my beautiful earrings that Warren H. It was like she was doing a modeling thing with the earrings. Warren, you made a whole night. Actually, it's only the second set of earrings that anybody's ever bought, Daisy. And the first pair of earrings were her mother's gift to her that cost 5 pesos. So you're like you're a superstar of earrings in the Philippines now. Hello, Joe Blow. So let me just digress back to Maxwell and Angeli. So I said that you're not going to want to go in that restaurant. So I said, well, he goes, let's go. So he's a take control type of guy, and I can appreciate that. So we're going to have dinner in that restaurant. I don't care how much it costs. So we went one door away from the hamburger joint, and the restaurant they don't hand you a menu. They hand you a book about 3/4 of an inch, and each page is binded with lettering and twine around it and an edge. And the cheapest meal was 1,685 pesos. And I said to him, he looked at it and he went like this. He goes, you weren't kidding. I said, no, it's expensive here. So it would have cost 3,200, 6,400, 7,000 pesos, $140 for dinner for 4 people. And the meals are not really that big. So you have to work. This is a tourist trap in the Philippines. The hamburger joint isn't so much of a tourist trap, except for other things that we're not going to get involved with. But this Japanese restaurant, this is for rich. I think it was Japanese. This is for rich people only. This is beyond the pale. 1,600 pesos for a meal in the Philippines. People don't spend that much for a family of 3 the entire month for food. But digressing back, so we go to Payag, and the place is. I said, no, you know what? We're going to go to this place where we went last week. So after we got finished talking about this wire trap, this tripwire on the steps, we go to this place Payag, and it's crowded like you wouldn't believe. But it's the only restaurant in the entire Alona Beach area that you can't get a seat in. There's waiting. We had to wait to get a seat. That's how good the food is there. So we get that, and there's this little baby girl running around. She's got the huge spirit, running around and hi, how you doing, and giving you 5 and stuff like that. She might be she's the owner's. I think she's the owner's daughter, but no, one of the ladies' daughters one of the ladies that work at the restaurant. Daisy said, and the place is everybody's laughing and having a nice time. So we wash our hands, and the girls went to the bathroom while we're waiting for our table, and we sit. There was a table for like 8, and we sit down. There's 2 people there already, Filipinos, and this is the kind of man this fellow Maxwell is. He, we said that he asks them if we can sit at the table because I didn't want to interrupt them, even though it was for a table of 8. They're having dinner and they're sitting at the table, and they said sure, and we sat down, and like unbelievably, a minute later, a table opens up 3 feet away, and they moved over. Maxwell sent them over a couple of sodas. Um, we just had a great time, and we talked for an hour and a half. Me, Maxwell, and I, and Daisy and Angelique, and it was like we knew each other for our whole life because he knew everything there was to know about me. He knew about my backhoe business and my excavation company in Florida. So it was like talking to somebody that I knew because he remembered everything. He remembers the DOD videos. He remembers the cleanup videos. He remembers when I mentioned that I got my house. He remembers everything about every video. It's like it's some kind of like he had a memory bank of my videos, a YouTube memory bank. So it created a great evening. So this was just the beginning of the evening, and that was Daisy's birthday. Just turned out to be great. She had somebody to talk to, and after Payag, then we went back to look to see the show in the back of well, it's outside the public parking lot. It's right adjacent to the public parking lot, and there's Chinese restaurants. And Maxwell and I were looking at the prices for stuff. The lobsters that I had said were 3,000 pesos. Now he didn't want to be in any videos. Now, unfortunately, I have him in a couple of videos that I'll just make private and send to him in Australia when he gets back. So I can't show you Maxwell, but he was a really cool dude. He might appear in one of the videos as a passing face. So we go back. We're going to go back to see the show, and I had these 2 passes to the hamburger joint to get 2 beers, and I don't drink, so I gave them to Maxwell. He goes, let's use the passes for the beer. Oh, okay. Hold on, my foot water has come. Can you get it in there? Okay, I can slide it over from there. What I need are the scissors, honey. I know. Okay, I just have to get my foot in this water. So just hold on. Ah! Oh, God. How does this look? Okay. It's all white, yeah? That's cool. Okay, I'm coming back. So we sit down at the restaurant, the hamburger joint, where I had 2 passes. This is really interesting because people ask how it is in the Philippines, and I tell you all the time, Filipinos, they don't care about you. They just care about collecting your money. That's their business. And when you're working with the help itself of the restaurant, it's strictly business. They don't understand. They don't stand. They don't like. I worked for Joe DeCandia, who owned 100 restaurants, literally 51 Lenny's clam bars and 50 something Lenny's pizzerias and 25 Tony Romans. Okay, in New York City, the man made $100,000 a day cash money. He didn't even know what to do with his money. He couldn't buy enough stuff. He has pictures of him with the president, pictures of him with the vice president and the secretary of state on his all on. Well, you'd never get to see that, but in his private room downstairs at 1855 Nostrand Avenue, and in his other private rooms that I would sometimes go in to make a delivery. So he was a gracious restaurateur. So we sit down, and I had given Maxwell the beer passes from just a month ago, they were free beers. And we hand the girl the beer passes. He wanted one beer, and I didn't want anything. And she goes, "Oh no, sir, these are no good." And I'm going, "Why aren't they any good?" It's for this. It says the name of this business on it. No, sir, the owner changed. I said, "What does that have to do with anything? The house was given to us by the previous owner." And she's going, "No," she doesn't answer the question. She goes, "No, sir, it's a new owner." I'm going, "Well, would you like to bring the owner over here so he could explain that to me?" "No, sir, he's not here." I said, "Well, you want to bring the manager over?" "No, sir, these passes are no good." Apparently, something I said or didn't say about the restaurant. I had some videos up about the restaurant, and I took them down. So, um, their super Warren says that the earrings. I'm sorry, Warren. I apologize. So I'm gonna let's get back to where. So let's get now. We're moving over. Right now is where we go buy the earrings. So they denied us access to have free beers at a restaurant that well over 10,000 pesos was spent at that restaurant in the last few months. And for those 10,000 pesos, I got two beer passes. And then when the owner changed, they declined giving us the free beer. Like, what does one thing have to do with the other? We were regular guests in a restaurant, but this is the Philippines. So, in other words, all the free passes that the guy gave out before he sold the restaurant are going to bring people back to the restaurant, and the new owner declines the free beer passes or the free beer cards. What kind? This is the Philippines. So, but that man was handing out those free beer things when Daisy and I were there. We had a great time. He was handing them out to everybody. You just said hello to him. He was giving you free beer. He knew he was selling the restaurant. Well, he knew the new owner was taking over the restaurant, and he was just handing these things out like they were candy to everybody. And then that when he sold the restaurant or when the restaurant changed management or hands, when then everybody's going to come back naturally with the free beer passes and sit down and order some food. And then when you hand them the pass, they tell you the pass is no good. This is standard operating procedure in the Philippines. This is the way it works here. They have no integrity or morals. The new owner should have abided by the free pass and the free beer, and that's how you get service. But here in the Philippines, they do it exactly opposite. They bring you in for a false pretense, and you sit down and you order a meal, and then when you order the meal and you give them the free pass, and maybe not everybody has a beer first, and you can't. So and also on the pass it says that you can't use the free beer card until it's 8 o'clock at night. Blow, Joe, blow. You can't use the free beer card until it's 8 o'clock at night. So you might get there at 7 o'clock and have the free beer passes that the previous owner was handing out, and you might have three or four of them, or maybe six of them, and you're going to sit down and have some free beer. You only allowed one per person, but if there's four people, you could have four free beers. So you sit down at 7, you spend 1 or 2 thousand, 3,000 pesos for four people, and you hand them the beer, and they say, "No, sir, it's no good." That and Maxwell and Angela had already eaten in the restaurant. They had already had almost a full dinner, like snacks they had, which, by the way, Maxwell didn't eat, and Angelina didn't eat hers as well. That's how much the quality of food has gone down in that restaurant. Maxwell sent his food away in whole, just about in whole. He tasted it. It wasn't what he expected. And Angela had fried chicken of some sort, and she didn't. There was one piece of chicken left on the plate. She sent it away to the garbage. They didn't even want to take it out. Okay, that's how good the food was there. So the quality of food went down. The previous owner is handing out free beer passes, knowing he's not going to own the restaurant anymore, and the new owner doesn't acknowledge the free beer passes, and that's the Philippines for you. And the old owner was setting you up to get to come in at 7 o'clock and have a meal, and at 8 o'clock you hand them the free beer pass, and at 8 o'clock they tell you these are no good, sir. So we went to a Chinese restaurant down about 10 feet away. I mean, about well, not 10, maybe 15 meters, not 10 feet, about 15 meters towards the show. And we sat down in there, and I bought Maxwell a beer, and Daisy saw this little jewelry shop, and this is where Warren H comes in across. And she walks over to the jewelry shop, and she says to me, waves me over, and I went over there, whatever, and she goes, "Can I buy these?" And they were 100 peso earrings. I'm going, buy anything you want. It doesn't even matter what you want, just get what you want. And so I said, why don't you look for something nice? Because they were giant pink earrings about that big with some kind of hairy feather on them. They're gonna fall apart the first time you put it through the washing machine. Come on over here, honey. So this is what Daisy decided on. At the end of the day, these are the earrings that Daisy decided on, and these are the most gracious gift from Warren H. So let's go closer to the foot turn sideways. All right, well, let me get this light. Hold on, Warren. I will illuminate these earrings for you. No,
It's okay. Without
like that, right there. They have a beautiful heart on them, and like with the new quality of pearls, it's an imitation pearl. But when I put my glasses on and look at it, I don't think it's an amazing replica of a pearl with a heart, and it looks. Let me see. It looks it's a hammered finish, but it looks like little diamonds because it's still sparkly. And Daisy, she also looks very beautiful for someone as old as she is. She's getting there in age. She's what now? Hold on, a quarter of a century now.
Hmm? Yeah, that's right.
She's moving up there in age. She's moving up there in age. She's now no longer. She's now 30s. Soon she's going to be half my age. God willing. So Warren had given us a beautiful super chat and said, use the super chat for something nice, not food. Lord knows Michael Fazio doesn't need to eat. And even on the diet I ate last night I ate for two people. So we're gonna, yeah, Scott. I'm gonna go up through the comments right now. I'm gonna go through the comments really quick. I'm gonna address as many as I can. Scott Del Fuego says, "Ladies and gentlemen, hi, Michael. Sounds interesting. New at Drew Edwards. Good. Hi, Mike and Daisy. Princess and Nude. Morning, Daisy and Michael. Scott Del Fuego. Scott Del Fuego. I read Carl Jung and I read Shakespeare and I've read Plato and I've read. Um, I did some extensive research on Freud because Freud and I had a common interest in the mind expansion through drugs. I was just an innocent observer, whereas he was a participant in the drug culture. At the time, it was legal, so what difference does it really make? So anyway, yeah, I studied those people. Nietzsche. When I saw you posting the stuff the other day, I knew what direction it was coming from, not exactly who had perpetrated the words. So I'm well read. I'm just not so smart. Like I don't articulate myself very well sometimes. But I do in other times. Like for instance, the whole subterfuge story about the hamburger joint, that all led up to the fact that I was going someplace with it, and that all led up to where I was going. I had a plan from the beginning. Is that the people in the Philippines that I have always said they don't care about you as foreigners or people. Now I don't know if there were no Filipinos in the restaurant. Wait, first of all, let's say hello to Warren H. Warren H, thank you, and hello.
Hello, Warren X. Thank you very much
For your birthday present,
for my birthday presents.
which was the second.
which was my second pair of earrings.
So, in other words, her first pair of earrings was a 5 or 10 peso pair of earrings from her mother. I never gave it any thought because I never gave it any thought. I don't think.
I don't like too much.
She doesn't like jewelry. She's not even wearing the.
Allergy.
She's not even wearing the fist. She didn't even get asked for the fist last night. So, but and then this is her second pair of earrings, Warren H. And she had her choice of anything that she wanted. And these, I picked out a beautiful pair of earrings. And she goes, "Yeah, I like those." And I said, "Okay." And I put the money down on the counter. Warren H. provided the monies for the earrings. And I went back to see Maxwell and Angeli, and Daisy comes back smiling like this with a different set of earrings on. She picked out these, and they are better looking on her. They look better than they did on the shelf, and they actually look better than the ones I picked out. So she had beautiful taste. They make, and plus this top that Daisy May has. Can you stand up? Show that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This beautiful top is also laced with these imitation pearls. And where did you get this top?
In the Facebook.
Facebook. So
Okay.
she shops on Facebook at secondhand clothes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And how many pesos was this top and dress?
100.
How much?
100.
100 pesos. She's a shopper. So they go beautiful with each other. Now she didn't have that on last night. She had something else on because she was going to do Zumba, and this top is too hot for Zumba. So when we go back, we may have put this back on with the earrings, and we'll do a different. We're going to try to get there in the afternoon before the music starts because I got to tell you, I did a few videos last night, and it was so loud there that cognitive reasoning is just pretty much disappears. You have to understand. You'll look for a thought, a new thought, like a topic to talk about, and you can't remember the topic because the music is going boom, 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 boom from the discotheque. And then the hamburger joint, they had two guys on a guitar and a set of drums. And they were like, the speakers were 7 feet away from us. Not a good place to go for food. Who wants to be drowned out in and it wasn't quality music at all. So they had the discotheque blaring. They had the Filipino men on and a sonari drum, like an electronic drum. Then the Japanese place next door had an even louder music. It seemed like they had the loudest music to attract. Who would want to eat there? I don't know. And then there was music coming from the backstage where the Hawaiian show was going on. I couldn't even think straight. When I first got there, the music was at a lower decibel. There wasn't so many coming from so many directions when Maxwell and I met. But towards the end of the evening, it was just bizarre how loud it was. It was so loud that your ears were ringing. And so, but digressing back, Alona Beach is totally now something different than the beautiful place it was 5 years ago when I moved here. And I'm not sorry that I moved here, but I am sorry what has happened to Alona Beach, and I'm being serious. 5 years ago, if someone would have handed me a beer pass to a hamburger joint with the name on it, and I would have presented it to the new owner, I do believe that owner would have acknowledged and accepted the free beer pass. But now everything has become so commercialized. So even after the girl, the funny thing about this restaurant, even after the girl said to us, they immediately, you aren't sitting down and there's somebody 4.5 inches off your shoulder looking at you, handing you a menu and then looking at the menu. What would you like, sir? You're not in the restaurant. You're not sitting 15 seconds. How annoying is that, number one? Number two, the fact that you have to walk over a plug that's 3 inches up off the steps. a real plug, a real electrical cord, right electrical cord, a real cord running across the steps that you're going to see in my video. How dangerous is this? And nobody says a word. And if I would have said something, they wouldn't have done a damn thing. They should have duct taped it and tucked it into the corner of the step and duct taped it on either side, and that would have been the end of it. But no, they just had this cord right in the middle of the top step, 3 inches off the step by 10 inches down, and where you could just trip on it and fall down the entire flight of steps. So the girl, this hamburger joint where the noise pollution is amazing. The girl walks up and says, "What would you like to order?" So I said, "We're just going to have a few beers right now." And and Maxwell gave her the card. I'm digressing. This is the quality of life in Laguna Beach has gone down part of my dissertation on life in the Philippines. And I said, "No, we're just going to have a beer." And she goes, "No, sir, not allowed. New owner." And she starts rolling her hands like the new. She's talking in sign language, which is okay. New owner. And I'm going, well, what does that have to do? These are free beer passes. It says the name of the business there, and it says the name on the thing, and it says free beer pass. There's no expiration date. No, sir, new owner. That's all you could get out of her. So I said, so we can't have the beer. No, sir. And the next thing out of her mouth is, what would you like to order? And I said, well, I don't want to order anything. Why, sir? It's because you're not giving us the free beer. And she said the new owner thing again. And I said, we're going to leave. I said a few more things. I said, would you get the owner over here? No. No, sir, he's not here. The manager? No, sir, they're not here. And they know damn well that I know damn well there was a manager on duty because I'm looking at the manager on duty, or I'm looking at least the head chef, who wouldn't look at me at all for the hour and a half that we spent there previously, or the time that we spent there, would never look me in the eye, because that's the place where I wasn't happy with the outcome of the order, and they don't care. Did you think that I was upset with the order last time? I think they would have come over and said, Mike, here's a free meal. This meal is on the house, which I wouldn't have accepted anyway, but they don't even offer it. After I brought a lot of traffic to the business itself, not just one or two people, but many people have said they've been there. And you know what? The funny thing is, before I took their videos down, the average comment on their videos was, I went there and the food sucked. We went there and we didn't enjoy the food at all. We went there and didn't even eat the food under the new ownership. So if you want to go to Alona Beach and you want to understand the way it is here in a tourist town or just in the Philippines, you spend your money for a product that you believe is going to be enjoyable. It's not enjoyable, and they don't want to compensate you in any way. If they want you to pay for the meal, whether you like it or not. If you order it and they put it on the table, they want your money, even if the food is not right. This is crazy. They have no respect for other people's that spent their whole life earning and saving money. They just don't have any respect for foreigners or the people's values of the West. It's, we put it on the table, you didn't like it, you pay for it anyway, and don't come back. So we left, went to a Chinese place. I bought Maxwell a few beers. Daisy got her earrings, and we moved on. And then we went and saw the show. That was that was a typical example. So getting back to Scott's, that was synchronicity is an interesting concept. That was a synchronistic event because we weren't supposed to be there. We were going to do something completely different, and we could have took the back road, or we could have made a right before that place, or I could have not decided. I could have decided that it's not that important to make a video of an extension cord on the top step because I'm not going to trip on it because I'm not going up the steps, and we could have went to the beach, but we decided against it. So we spent 4 hours with the most enjoyable fella from Australia. I got to tell you, he was so for those of you who just came, it was a black man named Maxwell, He lived between North and South Australia. Apparently, there's some island. Very educated, has people work, manager of some businesses, girlfriend of 8 years, is a Filipina. He's watched every one of my videos, remembers every one of my videos, even remembers all my Key Largo videos, even the videos where I am abusive and seemingly, but not quite so, where I tell the truth about different populations and statistics and logistics. Had no problem with any of that. Why? Because he's an educated man. That sets him apart from the rest of the world, which is where I want to go with my next live stream. So if I get down to the bottom of the comments, I'm going to end this live stream, and then we're going to talk about the ladyboy lover in Manila, because I've about had it with his bullshit. So when I get to the bottom, I'll make a decision whether I want to do that today or whether I want to put some notes together for tomorrow. Joe Blow, he's in. Okay, so a Kiwi in the Philippines says, Mayong buntag, 18 watching, now 24. Warren H, hi all. Dennis Adam, hello Warren. Joe Blow, hello brother. Hello Michael, one's from Samuel. Samuel saying hello to everybody. New with Drew Edwards, hello. Dennis Adams, hello. Sasha, hello sir. Thank you Sasha for stopping by. Warren H message retracted. Warren H, I'm very happy to have made Daisy's night. Well, you were the star of the show. After that, after Daisy got the earring, she pushed the hair back like this. See the Rabbi Jew Barker things that I have here? Makes me an official rabbi because I got the hair, but white, because I'm old. And she kept pushing the hair back behind the ears like that. And then the earrings are going forward like that. And all night after that, all night like this, all night, pushing the hair back on this side and then going like this, and then going like this with the back, to shake a hair, and then like this and like that. Look at my new earrings provided by Warren A. And then when instead of looking at Angeli like face on like this, she was looking at it like this. See my new earrings that Warren H brought me, right, honey? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you never. Daisy's talking to Angeli like this. Look, see my new earrings. Come on over here and show everybody your new earrings from Warren H. Look, now look like this. Talk to me. Say hello.
Hello.
Yeah, that. Now she's
Why
looking.
you?
Yeah. Why you la 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 blah blah blah? Because those earrings look beautiful on you.
Rama.
So she's now going, and then go like this with your hair. Look, see how her hair is already? Look, go ahead, push your hair back. Yeah, like that. 25, 30 times. Then she'd stop for a minute, continuously, 25, 30 times like this. And like every strand had to be behind her ear, every strand. And then, but sometimes it looked like I don't know what it looked like. What does this look like? That's what she was doing with the hair. Look at my earrings. Ow.
What's happening?
What? No.
What?
No. So, and that like this. Look at my earrings. Look at Warren H. I'm surprised she didn't put Warren earrings provided by Warren H. in like black magic marker with an arrow to the side of the head like that. Beautiful earrings, Warren. You made our whole night. So, and then when she's watching the show, like this. Is anybody looking? Very proud of her earrings. I gotta tell you. Second pair of earrings. Had I known that, I'd have beat you to the punch. I just thought somebody would have bought Daisy May earrings between the time she was born and yesterday, except besides her mother. So we thank you for that. So let's go through the videotape here. Samuel was going to flirt with a beautiful lady. Dennis Adams, good morning. Hello, Joe, Sasha, hello, sir, Sasha. Sasha does his work. I told this fella Maxwell from Australia, honey, I need water. I told this fellow Maxwell, he goes, you know, your live streams are a little bit long. And I said, you know what you should do? Before you take a shower or before you take, while you're cooking dinner, just throw it on while you're cooking dinner. That'll give you 45 minutes to an hour head start. Listen to it through dinner. And then when you're cleaning up, you could get a good hour and a half. And he goes, that's a good idea. I'm going to do a survey in a few minutes. Well, I could take the survey now, but I don't know how close I am to the bottom. So I have a question. Oh, I didn't even see this. Thomas. Okay, wait. Thomas Skudaric. Okay, wait a second. Skudaric. Thomas Skudaric. That's a tough one. Skudaric. Did a super chat. I didn't see that. It didn't show up, or I wasn't looking. I apologize. Thomas, I hope you're still here. I did not ignore your super chat. I didn't see it. Come on over here, honey. Come on. We want to get through this this live stream. I want to do another live stream after this.
Thomas, it's good, Larry.
Good Vladik. Okay, we will say thank you for that. And now Daisy and I do something, in case you're not a regular viewer, Daisy and I do something that is we say thank you. So Daisy will say it in her language, and then we will sing thank you. So please say,
Thomas, good, Larry. Salamat sa kwarta na imuhang gihatag kanamo ni Michael Fazio on Daisy May. And wish you all the best and God bless you.
that was very nice. And I may have seen the super chat and just got tied up in another direction. So I apologize. I should have went straight to that, but I was trying to bring a point across. So, and now we're going to say thank you, Thomas. So we ready? You will say
1, 2, 3.
thank you, thank you, thank you very much, Thomas Skudaric. Salamat.
Salamat.
That's a tough one, buddy.
Yeah, there's a man that sing for me happy birthday in the restaurant. Remember?
That was him?
No, in the restaurant. Remember
The boy. Oh, we also have a video of a young man who was strumming a banjo. That, you know how they come around the tables and they want the Filipino children. They come with a banjo or like a little $5 guitar, and they just go then they strum the strings on the thing. So this, and they're just making noise basically, and they're looking for 2 or 3 pesos.
Mm.
So the girl who did not understand English, she came and Angeli gave us some money and she went away, but she didn't sing anything. She just went like this.
She sing, but I don't understand her words.
So I didn't hear her.
Bisaya.
That's what I mean, this noise pollution. She was right at the end of the table. I was 6 feet away. I never heard a word. So she did sing?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that. So a boy comes by and he wants to strum the guitar or banjo or whatever it is, ukulele. And I said to him, come over here. Can you sing? And he said, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I says, okay, so what can you sing? And what he said, what was the name of it? Undistinguishable. So I said, okay, sing. So he had a good voice, yeah?
Yes.
And he had good rhythm. And he could actually sing. He was not like fudging it. He knew every word. He knew the inflection of the words. He knew the intonation, raise his voice, lower his voice, change his voice. And then he sang that song, whatever that was. It's on videotape. And then he sang Happy Birthday. So that's going to get posted too. Nice young man.
Yeah.
And I mean, 50 pesos. He was there. What?
It's my first time that someone sing for me like that.
At the table?
Yeah.
So people
Very nice.
Very nice. People usually give these children 2 or 3 pesos. So we gave them 50. The young man 50 pesos, and he was there about, I guess, 2 minutes. And but I got him a bunch of other business. I did get him a bunch because now everybody wanted him to come to their table and sing, which was really interesting. So that would be that was generous, right? 50 pesos.
Yeah, it is. It's very big now.
The most people give those singers that come to the table 2 or 3 pesos. Now I could never give somebody 2 or 3 pesos, 10 pesos. When they come to do the singing, we gave the children, the young people, 100 pesos, which is, for 3 minutes work, very nice. It's a nice gesture, and they were very happy. They were like, after the video went off, thank you very much. I'm surprised they didn't come back. I'm surprised they don't come back on a daily basis, because nobody gives them 100 pesos. I mean, or nobody gives the children in the restaurant 50 pesos. And the boy had talent, and that was just what the smallest bill I had in my wallet, besides 1,000 pesos. So that he wasn't getting 1,000, so he had to settle for 50. So that's my story with that. Now let's get down through these comments so that I can get down. I wanna ask you people right now. I'll ask you people. There's 25 people. I've been talking thank you, Daisy. And may I have cold water, please? I've been talking at the beginning. I said I'd like to do a live stream. I want to talk about Jeff Lee Brown. So would anybody mind if I shut this? How many people that are here would mind if I just shut, when I get to the bottom of the page? You can start leaving your comments now, that I shut this video off and I changed the type so that as to not to confuse the two issues. So, and if you don't want that to happen, I'll continue this live stream, and I will do I'll devote the entire live stream tomorrow to this guy, Jeff Lee Brown, who apparently either thinks he's funny, which he may be funny, and he may be, but you have to find the range of people that he's funny to, which would be somebody in his IQ level or class, which he has none of. So he either thinks he's funny, or the people that are of his IQ level or below, or a few points above, somewhere hovering around 50, he's perpetually doing and saying stuff about Daisy May and myself, and for view count. So who wants me to continue the live stream? And when I get down to that part of this, and who wants me to just devote the entire live stream tomorrow, which would be Sunday night, to just Jeff Lee Brown? And that would actually give me more time to put some information together. I'm going to put some websites that have been built. People have spent several hundred hours building websites for this low IQ Philippines blogger. In my opinion, he's a low IQ individual, and he doesn't get some of the things that I'm going to talk about in tomorrow or today's live stream. So whatever you prefer, I'll just take a brief survey, and then that's what it'll be. So either I stop this and start a new one, or I put together a full array of nonsense that this man, who apparently there's something, he's either mentally challenged, or he believes that the crap that he posts on YouTube is funny, and it's not. It's never been funny. In fact, I'll go one step further. The fella Maxwell from Australia, and I asked him if he ever watched the Jeff Lee Brown video, and this is going to be in the live stream either today or tomorrow. Maxwell laughed and said some things that I won't tell you now. I'll do it in the live stream the next live stream, or I will do it in tomorrow's live stream. I'll have a list of 15 or 20 notes. And Maxwell had some interesting things to say about Jeff Lee Brown. And Jeff Lee Brown's ilk, ILK, that follows him. So it's up to you. I don't care one way or another. I could I could do it off the top of my head now today, or I could do it tomorrow and set up a regimen of the bullshit that this man pontificates on YouTube, and that there are people that actually follow this. This has to be the joke of the century. This guy Jeff Lee Brown. So let me go down. Let me get through here. Okay, Thomas. Okay, so we are close to the bottom apparently. Thomas Skizkadlar, Suggs, Kadlar, Thomas Skizkadlar. Wow. Okay, that's man. I'm not the first person that's had trouble saying Thomas Skizkalaric's name. And in fact, I imagine that Thomas Skizkalaric had quite a few people mention the fact that his name is slightly off kilter in high school, grammar school, and maybe even kindergarten. Hey, where's Scalaric? Oh, wow. Sounds like, Thomas, I got to tell you, I'm a very big Star Trek fan. I love Star Trek. It sounds like the kind of a name that Spock would say, or like the Klingon name, or maybe a Klingon or a Cardassian name or something like that. That's what it sounds like. I'm not being facetious. Okay, Warren H happens to be the star of this show. Do it tomorrow with all you want to say notated out. That's the best. I think that's the best way. After I thought about it for a minute, actually you're right. I can put together some notes and some names of some blogs and the names of some bloggers and who he's abused and who he thinks it's funny and some of the names. Okay, Warren, that we don't have to go any further than that. It's been decided that tomorrow would be the best time to do that. And then now Rudy Gallus, he also had something to say. Maybe Sunday after he made a death video about you, I wish you do a full dissertation to the full extent. Yeah, I remember that video, and I asked people if they had a copy of that video. Um, if somebody downloaded that video, because just so that I could have it for a reference point. But I have notes on the video, and the man, he's we'll talk about that tomorrow. Yeah, I will make I will make mention of that. In fact, the response video that I put up on YouTube uh, was quite aggressive, but didn't break any of YouTube's guidelines. And it got a lot of views, but I put it on Patreon. Okay, the reason I put it on Patreon is because um, my Patreon members are people that pay to appreciate unique videos, and that video is unique. I have quite a few unique videos that I've made with that little fella, the jealous little man in Manila, and I've had quite a few videos, and I will put together. I will do that. That's a good idea, Warren, and Rudy agrees, and Rudy and Warren always make intelligent comments. I just woke up. Fox 222 Fox. Just woke up now. Hi from England. Yeah, JLB is a dickhead. He's definitely not right in the head. Yeah, that's where my video was going to go into a whole new methodology and method. So yeah, we're gonna do that. Thanks. I switched this comment. I don't know what that means. Princess Anne Nude is back. Princess Anne Nude. I just realized that means Princess Anne Nude. Nude is like, as in naked? Is that what I never, is that your last name, or are you actually watching this video while you're naked? I mean, watching videos naked. Just kidding, Princess Anne. And you know, Princess Anne, I saw your comment on my Facebook page, and you said to say hello. And actually, I was going to let Daisy, here, Daisy, respond to Princess Anne nude on my, on, you did? You did already? Okay, Daisy said she did already. I saw that. I saw it yesterday, but I didn't get to it. So, Rudy Gallus. Yeah, you know, Rudy, that would be fantastic. Wow. I've been looking for that video. I remember somebody said they had it. I don't remember if it was you. Oh, you don't have it now. I says, I need a hard drive recovery program for my Dell, and I could retrieve the JLB video. Okay, well, I don't think that's going to happen between today and tomorrow, within the next 22 hours. But it would be great if someone had that downloaded. I give you an email that you could send it to, and but I'm gonna go with it anyway, because nothing that I post in the video is gonna be, can be considered hate speech. Although um, some of the things that I say tomorrow, I'm going to give my opinion on, and I'm going to tell you things that Scott Del Fuego and Warren H. and I, as people that understand the street from different aspects or different angles of life, and sometimes the same angle, we all agree where certain things are going. So yeah, there's going to be, and he there are so many things wrong with him. With this fellow 222 Fox said the guy's a dickhead. Come on now. And no, there isn't. And when you move up in IQ, and I won't get into this IQ concept, but when you move up in IQ, when you move up into the like 100 range, it's hard to have a conversation with somebody with an IQ of about 50. But when you move up into the higher intellectual IQ, not necessarily in intelligence, but well, not necessarily IQ, excuse me, rather intelligence. When you move up, the more intelligent a person is, not necessarily because of their IQ, but because of their background, the harder it is to relate to people with an IQ of somewhere around 50, because that's what he portrays, an IQ of about 50. And I'll get involved with that IQ concept tomorrow. In other words, if you are if a group of the average high school English and social studies or math teachers, the average person that graduated college is not going to be able to relate to a tribal community in Africa or the Aborigines in Australia. There's no relation. And in part, that's true to the people from foreign countries like myself that come to the Philippines. Someone asked me yesterday, are the people trustworthy? And it wasn't really a fair question because you're generalizing. Can you walk down the streets safely where I live? Yeah. But if something dropped out of your pocket, that there's a 50% chance, I would say, that they grab it and run back up and hand it to you. Now, that's if they see it fall out of your pocket. If they don't see it fall out of your pocket, well, that's found. Even if it's a wallet with your name in it, you're going to have a 50% chance of somebody giving you back the wallet. So it's not a fair question. Can you trust them? Because in general, the Philippines is a very safe area, especially where I am. And especially that I won't get involved with that. So anyway, but when you start to move down in IQ, there's nothing to relate to. The people don't look at you the same way. Scott talked about the young little, cretins on the street with dead eyes yesterday. that they look at you. They don't care that you, if they kill you. They have no understanding or remorse about killing somebody. They just do it because their mentality is such a low IQ. Well, that's where I place not JLB in as far as threatening, because he's really not, he's the only person he's a threat to is himself. But that's where I place him on an IQ level of bloggers in the Philippines. And I'll get involved and I'll go through the IQ aspect of what determines what a man says and does tomorrow. And there's enough intelligent people here that I'm sure the conversation will be interesting, to say the least. So, uh, and that's funny that Warren H says that, because it's interesting that Warren H says JLB has just enough of an IQ to have basic like functions, i.e., breathing and scratching. And I gotta tell you, um, he said the same thing about me. He called me a Neanderthal that he wouldn't take the time to drag his knuckles across. Now that would be interesting. So, but and it was in a derogatory manner, and he really believes somehow in his mind. I'll put all of this together in a better format tomorrow, but he actually believes somewhere in his mind that he is even, 1/10 as smart as me, which I could honestly say without without any way for anybody to prove otherwise. And I can prove it to be true. I'm 100 times smarter than JLB could ever hope to be. I might have a bad attitude, but if we were to go through knowledge in life, and I'll put that together tomorrow. You go tell Jeff Lee Brown we're going to do a live stream on him tomorrow, and that I'm 100 times smarter than him, and I'll prove it. So, 222 Fox. If you put J.L. Brown's brain in a bird, it would fly backwards. That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's I'm gonna have to use that one tomorrow. Remind me tomorrow so I can make that part of the live stream, because it's gonna happen. Okay, that's good. That was a good one. 222 Fox 1. That's different than thank you. Now Rudy Gallus is saying something I didn't know much about. I didn't know anything about his death threats. Rudy Gallus says JLB has had a lot of death threats. I don't know how he is still alive. I didn't hear. I've seen comments to that effect, and he's allowed comments to that effect on his channel against myself. In fact, he even encourages that kind of shit, whereas I don't encourage it, and I won't encourage it. But being that I actually well, I'll get involved with what I've not done much about this with that video that he made. I don't know. I don't know that it would. I don't know that what he did is illegal. What he did is immoral. The man he's an amoral individual, and people that are amoral, they don't understand there can be consequences. So we'll talk about that tomorrow also. Warren H. If JLB had brains made on TNT, they wouldn't be enough to blow his nose. That's probably true. So, these are adages that we use in the Western world. Some of the people that are not from the Philippines use it. It's just something that people used to say a long time ago. If your brain was made out of TNT, you wouldn't have enough charge to blow your nose, and that's about where I put him, because I each day that passes, in my mind, he degrades to even a lower level than the day before. All right, so Rudy Gallus, my spell check is not good tonight. Don't worry about it. So, completely disinterested. Happy birthday, Daisy May. Anthony, I met somebody just like you. Thank you, Warren H. I'll get to that in a moment. Anthony, I met someone just like you last night named Maxwell. He's a black man from Australia. He has watched, he has watched every one of my videos to my knowledge, because I was kicking some videos around from Key Largo and some videos around of me working with the backhoe on the beach in Tavernier, Florida. He's watched every video, and he remembers them because Anthony from Completely Disinterested also has watched every one of my videos and remembers them. And it was when I was talking to this man last night in this hamburger joint I went into, didn't eat there though. This guy is talking about videos I did 5 years ago, 6 years ago. You remember that video you made with the girl in Bacolod, and she got out of the tricycle and she was on the cell phone, and I'm going, she wasn't paying any attention to me. She was working. I think she was a working girl. I'm not sure. She was certainly busy on that cell phone the whole time I was with her, which lasted about, I went to Bacolod to meet her, and I think I spent about an hour, maybe 2 hours with the girl on different days. I kept thinking that she'd put that damn cell phone down, but she never did. So she was doing something, setting up the next score, probably. Warren says, no, I don't have the right brow ridge to be Neanderthal, Michael. Okay, so Rudy Gallus is bringing us back to a better topic, Daisy. Again, happy birthday from Rudy Gallus. Let me say hello. Rudy Gallus and Anthony said happy birthday, so please say hello to them.
Hello, Completely Disinterested. Thank you and salamat kayo. And Rudy Galos, thank you. Thank you, everyone. This is Daisy May in Philippines.
The earrings. See how those earrings floated right? This is Daisy May in the Philippines, baby, wearing the earrings that Warren H. gave me for my 25th birthday. I'm never going to live this one down, and that's okay. I'm glad that you could bring this much happiness to Daisy May. She was walking around like she was in heaven last night. No, Joe Blow. I don't know that Jeff Lee Brown wears makeup. That is something that has been theorized on this. If Joe Blow, let me answer your question. Okay, this website, somebody devoted this website to Jeff Lee Brown. Okay, now there was nothing in the website. Well, it's not verifiable. The information, and some of the information is not verifiable, and the reason is because the information in the website was derived from videos that Jeff Lee Brown put up on the internet. But when the man who put the website together, when he talked about what was in the video, as soon as Jeff Lee Brown and he talked about it, of what a low quality individual Jeff Lee Brown appears to be. Whatever he put on the website, he would post a link to the video stating that these words were not his words, but they were coming from Jeff Lee Brown's mouth, and then the video would disappear. But he left the commentary up. So that's the kind of guy he is. He says something that would harm his quote unquote reputation, and this is the name of the website. I'm going to post it in a minute. It's the kind of guy is. He posts something that's completely bizarre, negative, evil to some people, just creepy to most people, and then somebody writes about it. Somebody spent a few hundred hours putting this blog spot together. And if you click the link on this blog spot or copy it and go to it later, you're going to read this blog spot for 2 hours. You're not going to stop. You're going to go, you're going to read what a man that seems to have some semblance of intelligence, how he looks at JLB from a perspective, not unlike myself, but and then he puts it together in a literary nature. There are a lot of people out there that despise the fact that Jeff Lee Brown makes videos and degrades the Philippines to the degree he does. So here is the name of the website for those of you who are interested. And again, the disclaimer is that because Jeff Lee Brown took the videos down, the words on the screen were the words that depicted the video, and Jeff Lee Brown is such a coward when it comes to being called out on the really lowbrow type of stuff he does on the internet. So I'll post this link, and I'll post it again so it's easy to find in the chat window. I posted it twice. Samuel. Pads. Wow. Anthony. No, so the answer to Joe Blow's question is I don't know that Jeff Lee Brown wears makeup, but in the link I just provided you, the man, I don't know what his educational psychiatric background is, the person who wrote the blog. The man is quite clear on his belief that the fact that Jeff Lee Brown shaves his head and hangs around transvestites, that he either fantasizes about being one or even possibly he has a wig and becomes one off camera. Now that's on the website, and that's not provable, or it's just somebody's theory. It's not my theory, but you have to laugh when you read that website. So if you guys want to read what's going on with the content that I'm going to do tomorrow about this guy who just doesn't stop. He just thinks he's smart, and everything he says, one thing each day, he says something dumber than the previous day. And he's had a lot of people that don't like him to big degrees. Okay, and we're going to do that live stream tomorrow. So we can move on past that topic, please. Rudy Gallus says that Daisy May is a sweet girl. Now, thank you, Rudy. She is a sweet girl. She really is. Okay, I went to the. Okay, so now Anthony from Completely Disinterested. Now, Anthony, for those of you who don't know Anthony, and if you want to learn about Chicago, we're going to go to that super chat, Samuel, in a minute, because I can see we're right here at the bottom of the page. Anthony does videos about Chicago, and he's learning how to vlog, and he's getting better at it. And I'm trying to get Anthony some subscribers. So if you want to watch videos about old time Chicago buildings and streets and where some movies were made, I think Ghostbusters was one of the videos that Anthony mentioned, where the bar or the restaurant that Ghostbusters was filmed in, or some famous movie was in Chicago. Anthony went by on the street what it looks like today. So he has some interesting videos. And then now Samuel did a super chat, honey. Come on over here.
Yeah.
For pads. So pads is a member of our chat, and he comes every day. So you will say thank you to Samuel. Daisy can't see over the top of the computer. Very tall. Wait. Yeah, see? I knew that was coming. So say salamat to Samuel.
Salamat, Samuel. And thank you very much sa kwarta na imong gihatag. And God bless and good health always and amping for me.
And now you will count. Thank you, Samuel.
Akit lang. I'll just
We will also be discussing Jeff Lee Brown's quote unquote girlfriend tomorrow. So go tell him that it's going to be an interesting topic. He's welcome to come by. So let's see. So ready? When you are, I'm ready.
1, 2, 3.
Thank you, thank you very much. One lonely man in the U.S.
Salamat.
Thank you. Yeah, and you know, Samuel, I just have to tell you one thing. You wouldn't be lonely if Pamela Kerr was here to keep you company. So, but I heard that Pamela was making arrangements for flight schedules after the wedding, and she's taking you to Hawaii for your honeymoon. So, if I were you, I'd go get the bathing suit and some sunblock because Pamela Kerr is planning the honeymoon in Hawaii, baby. That's right. No Bakakwa. Okay, so thank you, Samuel. And thank you, Pads 46. Pads 46. Well, Samuel is an interesting person besides being a wrench. He's also doing videos, by the way. Samuel is also doing some live streams. So if you want to see what the wrench looks like, Samuel is doing live streams where you can see Samuel's face. I forgot to mention that the other day. There's so many things with. I'm looking at the chat. I'm looking at where Daisy is. I'm doing so many. I do a lot of other stuff. I'm also reading articles sometimes. I'm not looking at the computer. So Samuel does live streams. If you want to see what Samuel looks like and the things that Samuel does, please subscribe to Samuel's page. And I don't know what time he does live streams. I think he does his just before I do mine. So that might be something you'd want to do to see what the wrench looks like. The key wrench, the first wrench, the ultimate wrench, the most powerful wrench, Samuel, otherwise known as One Lonely Man in the U.S. I see what Samuel did. Okay, what Samuel did is Samuel likes Pad's comments, and Samuel has made Pads 46 a member of the Super Chat community. Now that was nice, Samuel. That was very generous of you. Thank you. So now, wow, I didn't. That was very gracious of you, Samuel. We're above and beyond kind, that's for sure. I hope that Pads enjoys being a member of the Super Chat community. David Roberts, hello to you. Happy New Year, and thanks back to you. Pads, I will give it to them both. Thanks, my friend. Samuel, you're welcome. So the pleasantries are going back and forth there. Very nice. And thank you too, Samuel. Okay, so let's see if I missed anything. No, I don't have to go back up that way.
Copy the comment.
What?
Copy the comments. Oh.
Right. Okay. Well, you're gonna have to give me a moment here. I'm gonna. All right. Well, I should give you a shout out every day, Samuel. You're trying to build up your channel, and it takes a long time to learn how to just do the stuff that you need to do to build up your channels. You try one thing one day, you try another thing another day, you try something else. Now, my channel is pretty much stagnant now because of being shadow banned by YouTube. But then again, I'm not doing what people want me to do on YouTube because I can't because of my foot injury. So when I get back to building the hotel, then I'm sure that my channel will grow quite fast at that point. So I don't. It's not something I worry about, but it's very difficult, Samuel, to build up your channel. Same thing with for completely disinterested, trying to build up his channel by talking about Chicago, when Chicago is a place with a lot of history, and Anthony's like a I wouldn't even say he's an amateur historian. He knows about Chicago because he was born there. So he's really an actual historian on Chicago history. But it's still hard, even when you have a good topic. So that's anybody that I can help build up their channel. I always tell everybody you can post your links to the names of the videos that you have done, and so on and so forth. And the name of the video and the link, you put the name of the video first and then the link. And if someone wants to go watch it in the comments section when the video renders on YouTube, they'll see it. And of course, they'll see it now. So good morning, Blue Rose. So good evening, Blue Rose. And a good morning to you, Michael and Daisy. Thank you, Blue Rose. Thanks for stopping by. Now, Blue Rose is a member of my Patreon community, long-standing, long-term friend on YouTube. So, and a member of the Patreon community. Yeah, patron. Yes, he's been a member since the beginning. Okay. Okay, Samuel's doing really well. Okay, so one lonely man, I will try to help. Always, Michael. Thank you, Warren H. Okay, so well, now you're gonna have to give me. I don't know how many seconds. I'm not real sure, but I just copied all the comments, and I don't know that I have a topic set for this. I don't. Okay. I didn't even have time. Daisy and I were out late last night. We got home at 11. And by the time I got, okay, we got home at just about 11 o'clock, which is way past our bedtimes. And then by the time I got the video loaded for Warren H's earrings, it was after 12:30. So we didn't even wake up until 10 minutes to 8 this morning. So I didn't have time to prepare. So just give me a moment. This is live stream number 13. So what I should start doing is number 13. This way it makes it simple. And then live stream LIVESTREAM. And this one is Warren H. H. Daisy May. 25 first. Okay, so that's how we're going to save that file. And then I need to save it as. And Daisy, do you have anything that you wish to say to somebody or anybody? Why don't you tell the people what we had for dinner last night?
We have a barbecue pork barbecue combo and unlimited rice with pork thigh, pork leg. Oh no, no chicken.
Manuk.
Chicken manok.
Oh,
Barbecue.
I think you're asking me the chicken breast we had.
Breast, is that called?
Yes,
Breast?
the chicken breast we had.
One chicken breast and one stick of pork and with unlimited rice.
And what was the name of that vegetable? This Becca Pecca? Becca Lecca Mecca? It was just some weird ass name you couldn't pronounce.
Peanut bet.
Peanut beck. Peanut bit.
Yeah, that's vegetable.
I just told the waiter to give me some peccaneca, and he knew exactly what I wanted. I just pointed to the bottom of the page and I said, "Give me some peccaneca," and then he just laughed, and that was it. And he gave me exactly what I wanted, some peccaneca. I didn't know what it was, but I ordered it as peccaneca, and it came as the thing on the menu. Well, there was another interesting story that I could tell you about the Philippines now. Okay. Okay, Pads 46. Steve Montelli. Well, I'll go through the comments because that's what we're here for. And then I'll tell you about the restaurant running out of what we ordered for food. That was it was a laughing matter from beginning to end. But the owner of the restaurant happened to be listening to my conversation. And I don't know how it happened, but what they ran out of, we were. Let me read Pads' comment, and I'll go back to the fiasco of everything we ordered. They were out of, which eventually we got everything that we ordered. It was like magic last night. I'm telling you, it was a magical evening, a synchronistic event from beginning to end. So Pads 46 says Steve Montelli talked about your channel today in his live show. All good comments. Well, thanks for pointing that out. Steve he's a blogger on YouTube. He's completely different than I am, but he's got a very even, mellow key about him. And he's done live streams with several people. I found it interesting that he enjoys doing live streams with such a varied spectrum of people. I myself, there's only in life, not just forget about YouTube. In life, there's just a few people that I would actually want to meet. Not to do live streams, but just to meet in person. People that I've become friends. Some of the people I've become friends with on YouTube, I sure would like to spend some time with them. And it looks like that's going to happen. If Scott's there, I'm going to check on those things that we talked about. I have the information that I need now to move forward with my plans. And but Steve just seems to have what known as an eclectic array of people on his channel, from one end of the spectrum to the other. He's much more of an interviewer and than myself. Me, I just choose to be alone. I like being alone. I like the idea that I'm on YouTube, but I like being alone, which goes back to when I moved to Alona Beach. I'm glad I didn't move much closer than I did, because the noise all night long, it doesn't stop till 2 o'clock in the morning. You can hear the music and the drums and the pounding of the speakers. Now there are one. Now when I moved there was one club called Rockaway. But anyway, digressing back to Steve. I would imagine Steve always puts everything in a positive light. He doesn't. He's actually, I guess you could say, thinking back, he's more of an interviewer, where he allows the person to be what the person is without putting any inflection of his attitude. He doesn't inflect his attitude. Me, I have an opinion. Steve doesn't do that. Not not in any negative way. He asks questions and he works with the answers. Now, I haven't seen that interview, Pads, but thanks for pointing it out. I will go watch it. So thank you for that. Samuel says that I share your videos on my page. It's somewhere on my home. Yeah, it's the home pages. When you go to the videos, and then you have to go all the way down to the bottom of the videos that you have posted. Then somewhere it'll say like videos, or you got to go to the sidebar and click the three bars in the top left corner, and then show like videos. YouTube used to be so simple, and then when Google bought it, they screwed it up so much. It's not easy like it used to be, but Joe Blow was saying, Michael, he sent you a link on today's video. You are working on the bucket on your backhoe. It was about, I think you meant lack of money. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Joe. So I'm thinking that the Manila Ladyboy lover is saying that I have no money. Is that what he's saying? That's interesting. Considering that in the blog that I put the link up for before, he didn't have enough money to get his exit. According to the blog, I don't know if it's true. He didn't have enough money to get out of the Philippines. He had to beg the customs or whoever, the officials at the airport, for a couple of hundred pesos to let him get on the plane. Otherwise, he was broke and he would have lost his plane ticket. He's talking about me not having. If that's what you're insinuating, I'll just add it to the fluffer of shit that I'm going to bury him with tomorrow, with the bullshit that he spews on YouTube. But thanks for that. So yeah, Blue Rose. Yeah, I don't. You know, he has. We'll do this tomorrow, but he has insinuated that I'm broke, even after all the videos and the things that I have done in life, that I'm broke. I don't understand what he means by broke. Does he mean that I'm broke, that I have no money? Does he mean that I'm broke because I live in a small house? Does he mean that I'm broke because I live on a white sand beach in an area where he couldn't afford a room to rent if he came here and wanted to rent a room? It's above his average. It's way above and beyond his ability to rent a room, even 50 feet, 100 feet from where I am. Does he mean that I'm broke? I mean, some of the rooms on this block start at 3,500 pesos. So he's usually typically looking for a bed and where you share multiple beds. He's actually I've seen where he shared. It's on this link here somewhere on this website. Somewhere on this website. Sorry about that. Hold on. Somewhere on this website, one of the videos that the man talks about on this website that I'm going to post right now is about Jeff Lee Brown. I'm going to post it twice so you guys know where it is. It's about Jeff Lee Brown, and the video that the man mentions, it's about him going to Manila and sharing a room with either 2 or 3 other people that he didn't know. How do you? Now that's destitute. Okay, to me that would be destitute. I have never slept in a room with somebody else that I didn't know who in the video, it appeared that one of them was a ladyboy. I've never done that. Now, I can't say it's a ladyboy because I didn't look, underneath whatever they were wearing. But the blogger that on the video that I just gave, now I would never sleep. And you know what? There are people here that have told me, why don't you try a ladyboy? And I'm going, what the fuck is wrong with you exactly? What's wrong with you inside your head? Do I look like the kind of guy that wants to try a ladyboy? I mean, that's the kind of stuff that you get here, especially like if you go down to along the beach, on the beach itself, there's some places down there, the ladyboys run rampant, or in the discotheques, there are people there that think that that's a normal lifestyle, and that's their lifestyle. But is he talking about me being destitute? How am I destitute exactly? I don't know. That I don't have food, that I have to eat schwammies that look like giant schlungs and talk about it in endless amounts of videos. How am I destitute compared to him? Somebody should go, you should go there and find out what he means by the word destitute. Come back. We could go back and forth. Tomorrow I'm going to rip him a new asshole. Okay, so the more information we have on the quote unquote Manila ladyboy lover, or the Manila ladyboy lover of making videos with ladyboys, transvestites, gays, bisexual, and prostitutes, pickpockets, and thieves. And how am I destitute? Where do I where do I stand with destitute people? Do I surround myself with when those he surrounds himself with destitute people? So he's projecting. That's called projection. And we'll move on from there. Okay, so there are things that people do it's called, well, in psychology, it's called deflection and projection. So you deflect what you don't like to be true, and then you project onto the person back some sort of negative connotation back at the person. And it's amazing what some people do inside their head. So when he's calling me destitute, what he's actually doing is projecting what his persona. He's not only destitute. It's a good word, though. I mean, it's a good word, and it's good that he said it about me, because he's actually the one that is psychologically why he surrounds himself with destitute people, thieves, criminals, liars, because drug addicts and alcoholics and thieves are all liars. He surrounds himself with prostitutes, ladyboys, gays, and transgenders, and then he projects that into a video title, Michael Fazio's ex-girlfriend, and he puts a ladyboy or a transgender on the title. That's projection. And we'll get involved with that tomorrow. But it's really good that he's doing this live stream, because tomorrow I'm gonna put together a special Jeff Lee Brown video, and then if he disagrees with it, he disagrees with it. If he agrees with it, he agrees with it. If he finds it to be true and he wants to commit suicide afterwards, because it's possible, but that would mean he would have to accept the truth. So at that point, once you accept the truth, you either learn to live with the truth and change the values of your life that you don't like, or you decide that life isn't worth living, and in that case, then he needs to seek help. Because in my theory is that if Jeff Lee Brown ever woke up to the quality of life that he lives, and the hidden lifestyles, and the complete negativity of any form of productive lifestyle, if he ever woke up to that fact, he would just wake up a 50-something-year-old man and say, I've not done anything with my life. I really am, and I really am fucked up. I really am fucked up. I mean, and where do I go from here? All I can relate to are people that are much lower than me. and the dregs of society where they look up to me because I have a camera in my hand, and that's his only claim to fame. He's never done anything worthwhile in life, and he never will, because his time, his apex, his zenith of life's creativity and to build something up for yourself is gone. And we'll talk about that tomorrow. So thanks for pointing that out. All right, so I don't know. Joe Blow posted something. Samuel Michael did not like my Pekino. No, sorry. Now it doesn't. Not anything I didn't like. It just Samuel. I'm trying to. I was actually trying to think about something about this psychotic blogger in Manila that he thinks that I'm destitute. I mean, this is like it's beyond it's beyond it's beyond imagination. It's beyond imagination. One day he'll wake up and say, "What the hell have I done with my life?" Jeff Lee Brown. He's going to wake up one day and say, "What the hell have I done with my life? Look where I am. I'm in the streets of Manila interviewing prostitutes and transgenders to make coin. Coin. We call it coin. Chump change on YouTube. That's where I'm at. That's what my life has led me down the path of absolute. That's Jeff Lee Brown is the definition of destitute. In my opinion, I mean he's not broke, destitute with, but look at what he surrounds himself with. He surrounds himself with the dregs of society. Joe Blow, you keep posting stuff and then removing it. It's hard to follow it. If I don't get to see those comments. If you think I'm seeing them, and Mike's show is addictive, so I have to tune in every day. Better than television. A lot of people say that. You know why? The difference between me and television is that there is nothing. See, now people look at TV because it gives them a constant flow of information, but it's all lies. I Without going to jail, I could tell you stories about stuff that happened in the 80s and 90s that there are no statute of limitations on. So even because I know the background of the story, I would imagine I'd have to get interviewed to find out why. So I could tell you real stories that you'll never see on television. And I could tell you that the stories that they put on television when the incidents occurred, that the stories were fake and false. The movies were fake and false. The movies had nothing to do with reality. But those are the stories that I could tell you are true that people believe otherwise because they watched a movie or saw a newspaper on it. But what I say here in the Philippines is true. I don't dick around with this what they call political correctness. I don't really care about Donald Trump where everybody believes. I have people on my Patreon account, which Daisy, remind me to go to Patreon and leave Gary a message later. Okay. Or tell. Do you have Gary on Facebook?
No.
Okay. Remind me to go there. Write it down on a piece of paper, or just put a note in your phone for me, please. I have the stories that I tell you are true. Last night, and now I made a promise to a guy in the hamburger joint that I would never mention the name of his place, but I would also never go back there and eat. But because I went there last night, someone threw a beer on the table in front of me, which was interesting. I mean, like this man has been following me for 8 years, and that in and of itself was unique because usually the people that recognize me, they just say, hey Rabbi, how you doing? That's how most people address me. No one addresses me in any derogatory manner or shape ever. I have never run across anybody. Now there are that Jeff Lee Brown encourages people to say negative stuff about Michael Fazio, and he calls me Michael Fazio, and he calls Daisy Dizzy May. That he encourages that shit. Um, Even he encourages that shit. People that see me, they don't do it. I mean, they may think it, but you know what they end up saying is they just don't say nothing, or they or they say, "Hey, Rabbi," or "Hey, Michael, how you doing?" We watch your videos, but nobody. I've been here in the Philippines for 5 years. I've met hundreds of people that give me that look. There he is. There's Rabbi Jubaka, and they say hello. Now, I don't stop and talk to everybody. A lot of people will stop and say, "Let me get a picture." They don't care. Make a picture, and then they'll tell me that they live on this island and they've been watching. They like this video because I made a video about Power One or whatever. But nobody goes. Nobody comes up and says anything derogatory. Although they say they're going to do it. One guy was coming in October, and then he was coming in November. Then he told me I'll get up with you in December, and then that was one guy, and he was gonna do this, that, and the other thing, and that doesn't happen. Okay, it's just not gonna happen. Not gonna happen for a lot of reasons. The main reason that it's not gonna happen is nobody is stupid enough to get on a plane, fly from America, because these people are from America. Nobody could possibly be stupid enough to go to another country where you have to pass through customs and you can't get off the island or leave the country so easily. If there's a problem, it becomes problematic, and then find find out where I am, and then come and think that they're going to do something stupid, and then deal with the consequences or accomplish their goal. And now they're in a foreign country, and there are maybe, there are complications with their plan. It didn't go as planned. Nobody is that stupid. Nobody that could afford the airline ticket is going to devote a few weeks of their life to come and call me an asshole in face to face. It's just not going to happen. And if they do, well, that shit happens. But I don't think it's going to happen. I'm going to come and I'm going to blah, blah, blah. And these are just names on the screen. But Jeff Lee Brown encourages that kind of shit. He's a very low IQ individual. And one day he will wake up and say, damn, I'm 50 something years old. I've never accomplished anything in my life, ever. There was nothing that I could say that I have accomplished in my life that would match, as Blue Rose says, he's making fun of me that I'm working on a digging bucket. Nothing in his life that could equate with even me knocking rust off a digging bucket. That's how low of an opinion I have of him, but that's how little he has shown of any accomplishment in his life. There are no accomplishments. They don't exist. Well, Samuel, it's Joe Blow's option to retract this comment. I just don't understand why he does it. I've never read a comment that I didn't like or agree, so I don't know why he does it. So it's 12:10 now, right? An hour and 50. I'm gonna have a little bit of fruit that Daisy put here for me. Just hold on a minute. I could read a little bit from this blog. Now, I'm gonna have to read. I'll put a disclaimer before I start each one. Now, none of this stuff, I have written none of this stuff. It's on a blog where I'm going to post the link to the blog twice again. So you guys can go and read this. And I'm going to post it twice so you can find it easy. All right. So let me do this. Let me go to the top of the blog. This thing there's hundreds of hours of literary works on here, and Okay. The name, now the disclaimer is I wrote none of this, and I know that none of it is true, but I'm reading from the blog site. So, um, okay, so here's a theory about fun with JLB hyphen methadone. Okay, so here's a theory on the internet that nobody's ever accused me of. Now, this theory goes as follows. A recent rumor has been circulating. Okay, let me digress for a minute. But this isn't what I'm going to do. I'm only going to do this one thing. Um, and then I'm going to go back and check the comments. So this is a disclaimer again. So because YouTube, I'm sure YouTube is going to see this video. How you doing, YouTube? So this is a disclaimer. I didn't write any of this stuff. I'm reading it from the link I just posted. You'll see the timestamp. And the name of the link is Affluence Marketing. Let me give you the name of the link. Let me give you the name of the website. Hold on. This is something I want you guys to read, and then tomorrow, when you come back, I want you to, if you gleaned anything out of the website, don't just make it my research, because I've read this website for for 2 hours and 45 minutes, probably a little bit more than that, and within the last 2 days. And I've read it for I think 2 hours the first day. I couldn't stop reading it. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. I didn't stop reading it until 3:15. It's the most interesting thing I've ever read about Jeff. So I might just read. I might just put the name of the blog spot in tomorrow's title. I might just make it the title. Jeff Lee Brown is and something. So let's go. This is the disclaimer. Just read one thing to you. Uh, I'll just read one thing. Fun with JLB hyphen methadone, and then it has a picture of somebody with scabies and warts and two heads and missing teeth and all that other crap and just a bloody torso. Basically, it's a bloody torso. So the blog spot. Now, this is a guy that spent a couple of 100 hours writing this stuff, or people that have written about Jeff Lee Brown. And this is the kind of things they say about Jeff Lee Brown. A recent rumor has been circulating relating to Jeff Lee Brown and his previous drug addiction, which has left him reliant on methadone, which I don't know if that's true or not. Although JLB may be off to the Philippines again after his collection of unemployment benefits, also the time frame of 1 month that Jeff has kept to is because he cannot have more than 1 month's state supply of methadone. And I don't know if that's true or not. Now, I'll just stop there and I'll digress to where Blue Rose said, that I'm destitute. So if it's true that JLB was a heroin addict, and another part of the article says that Jeff Lee Brown, and I don't know that this is true. I've seen a tattoo on his arm, but that this part of his arm, right there, the crease between the elbow and the bicep, that crease there, that one, I'm not sure if it's his left one or his right one or his left one, but that those two places on his body, someone said he has tattoos there, which is an odd place for tattoos. And mostly heroin addicts that have used the needles extensively have tattoos there to cover up their needle marks. Now, I don't know that that's why he has I don't know if he has tattoos there, and I don't know if that's why the tattoos are there. But what I can tell you is that for all the stuff I did on the street, I never put a needle in my arm, and I never did methadone, so I don't even know what those two things are like. But nobody ever accused me of it either. Now, I did get involved with some crazy stuff during the 80s, but so did everybody else. But methadone and heroin were two things that the people I associated with. Now, I knew people that did drugs every day for 35 years that still are doing drugs and have never done heroin or methadone. So I came from a different class in society than if Jeff Lee Brown got, if he did get hooked up with heroin and now he's on methadone. No, that's sad. But I don't know anybody that does methadone. I don't know even a single person in my life that's alive right now that I could think of that was a methadone addict. I met one when I was 19. The guy's name was Rick. He was a photographer. He's the guy who taught me how to do photography with SLR cameras. Um, Rick was really smart and he was a great photographer. And he did methadone and he just did it to maintain a certain level of consciousness where he could cope with life. And he taught me a lot about methadone is because he was a heroin addict and he got on methadone. This is going back into 1975 when I was building my boat. Rick would come by and take pictures. 74, 75, 76. He taught me about methadone, everything I needed to know about methadone. First of all, it was a drug that you use to get off of heroin, but even makes you even more addicted to the methadone than the heroin, except that you can function on methadone. It just keeps you at an even keel. Where heroin, seeing people on heroin and they're zoned out, they're gone. You could somebody that does a lot of heroin, like they just like this. They You could do anything you want to them. Doesn't matter. They were not going to remember. Not going to bother them. They're not going to resist. They're just gone. They're just warm bodies is what they are. They don't, that's, but methadone, they know what they're doing. They can function in life. They can type and they can talk and they can go to parties and they can eat. Whereas heroin is something different. And Rick taught me all about methadone, saying that he should never want to see me do heroin or methadone because just he was my friend since I was like 7 years old. So it's not like he was trying to get me hooked on the shit. He was trying to tell me how bad it was. And all he ever talked about is I got to go get my methadone. Every day he had to go. I got to go get my methadone. And one day he showed me what it was. He took me to the methadone clinic and there was a little cup, little plastic cup they gave you. And apparently it was in there. I never saw what was in the cup, but because he got the cup and it's in here and then he ate it. I think it was like a fluid, but that's how much I know about methadone. What it looks like, I don't know, but how they handed it to him was in a little cup. So anyway, so if Jeff Lee Brown was a heroin addict, and if he's on a methadone program now, that would explain why he's does what he does because he associates with street people. But we'll get involved with that tomorrow. So let's see if he'll never. Yeah, if he feels like that, he feels the need. Okay, thanks, Blue Rose. Let me go back up here. Thank you, Samuel. Okay, so thank you, Blue Rose. Okay, yeah, I'm sure I'll find it. I'm subscribed to his channel so that I can keep track of what that idiot says on a regular basis. Then it's never going to happen, Scott. Never going to happen. Maybe they'll wait. Maybe he will wait until enough people say that. enough people that are close enough to him say your life isn't worth living anymore. Why don't you take the jump? And maybe he will. So, um, and you know, for some people that's the easy way out, and for other people's when they get to that point, they say, well, screw this. They say, I'm not going to commit suicide. I have some self worth. Let me try to be more like Michael Fazio. That's when now that would be a goal, and it would be something that would be beneficial to them, and it would be something that's not quite achievable, but it would give you something to aim at. I mean, you know, not nobody could be like Mike Fazio. Let's face it. There's nobody else 1,000 years from now, when they're watching Michael Fazio, aka Rabbi Jew Barker in the Philippines videos, and Michael and Daisy May videos, 1,000 years from now, because this stuff's being recorded. You got to remember that 1,000 years from now, no matter what happens to YouTube or Google, these videos are going to be archived somewhere. And even there's a world nuclear war and the world is destitute, which is probably how the world is going to end through nuclear radiation, but that's something else. There's going to be watching Michael Fazio videos and they're going to be going, you know, if only Jeff Lee Brown would have watched more of Michael Fazio's work, he could have strived to be more like Mike, and his life wouldn't have gone downhill the way it is, because I see it going downhill. I see it as a steady decline, progressive decline into the abyss, as Scott was talking about. And the abyss has nothing but hellish figures. And Jeff is moving in that direction. Believe me, he's moving in that direction. He'll never, he's not, he's one of those people, he's a denier. And we'll talk about more of that tomorrow. Yeah, that about describes him. That's the now Scott was talking about scabies, warts, two heads, and missing teeth. That's on the link I just provided you. So when he calls me destitute, I could go back to that blog. There are I don't know how many pages there are to this blog. There's just so much material that Jeff has put on the internet that he degrades himself via the material. Every video he posts on about the Philippines and the Manila lady boys and transvestites and gays, transgenders. I mean, for him to put a picture of a lady boy or a transgender in a dress as a thumbnail, and then project that to be Michael Fazio, and this saying that this is Michael Fazio's girlfriend. What is wrong with this man? And then where the picture is, and now the man is, where is he when he's posting this garbage video, which all of his videos are garbage. I mean, there's no content in his videos. Where is he? Where is his head at? Where is he sitting while he's calling me Michael Fazio and projecting that I am one of the transgenders or gays that are dressed up in drag doing a gay burlesque on the stage, and he's saying, there's Michael Fazio's girlfriend, ex-girlfriend. What goes on inside somebody's mind to do that? But we'll talk about that tomorrow. Tell Jeff it's going to be an interesting show. And so let's see. Yeah, methadone junkies are still junkies. There's no doubt about that. If they don't get their methadone, now one thing I do know about methadone from Rick is because he was on methadone. Oh, he was. I'm thinking he was 20. I was 17, 18, 19, 20. He was 5 years older than me. So when I was 20, when I was 17, he might have been 22. So he had already been in drugs, or maybe even 24. He had already been involved with heroin and been a methadone. I knew him when he was on heroin. He only lived 100 feet from me. And we were friends. We used to play stickball and stuff against the bridge, handball. and he was a pretty good handball player. But he told me that if you go through methadone withdrawal, that's worse than heroin. Now, me personally, you know, if they could lock you up in a room and your body goes through all the motions of being writhing and in pain for 4 or 5 days and you're off the stuff, I would do that if I was a heroin addict or a methadone addict. I mean, quitting something is not that real difficult. I sit here for 5.5 or 6 hours a day, and I don't think of even having. I don't have to have a cigarette. Now I may or may not. I will have one when I'm done here. But if I did, like last night, we were gone from 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We were gone till 11. I didn't bring cigarettes with me. It's an addictive habit. I know that, but I didn't have one. And when I got home, I had one, and I went to sleep. So it's not like I'm not a pack a day smoker or anything like that. At best, at best, sometimes eight, 7, 8, 9 sticks a day. So, and the cigarettes here in the Philippines are not half of as strong as they are in America. They don't put all the chemicals in them here that they have in America. But I know addictive. I understand addictive personality, and I understand it from because I have an addictive personality when to certain substances. But heroin, methadone wasn't my thing. But if me personally, if I'm intelligent enough to say, well, physically I need meth. If I needed methadone physically, I know I need it. But physically, I have to spend an hour a day going to this methadone clinic for several hours a month, and I can't ever function without the methadone. So I would say, let me go somewhere where they could lock me up and I would be away from the drug for 5 days. Then my body would go through the withdrawals. It makes no difference how much pain and suffering you go through while you're going through the withdrawals. When you're done, now your body isn't addicted anymore. Now it's just mental. See, so if he is addicted to methadone, it means he's a weak, twisted little man who's weak-minded and can't control his destiny. So basically, what I'm saying is, Jeff Lee Brown, if he wanted to be more successful in life, he should look up at the sky and say, Jesus, I want to be more like Mike Fazio. That would be a goal worth aspiring to. Not that Jeff would ever reach the bootstraps on my old sneakers. You'd never get that high, but at least it would be something, a goal. An unattainable goal is better than no goal, Jeff. Go tell Jeff, take the time step. That one should go down in the annals of history. Jeff Lee Brown should pray to Jesus. Jesus, Jesus, let me be more like Mike Fazio. And if I can't be like Mike Fazio, Jesus, let me be more like Rabbi Drew Barker in the Philippines. There are two well-worthy goals. And wait till I get this information together tomorrow. Oh boy, we're gonna have some fun tomorrow. Okay. Where's Bosco is here. Okay, I think good hello, where's Bosco? Okay, so all right, so Larry, I'm in California. Visitor of Bohol, Palawan, Cebu, and Luzon this year. You're going to visit Bohol, Palawan, Cebu, and Luzon. I don't know anything about Luzon. I know it's huge. Bohol is probably going to be Palawan. If you go to Palawan, what you need to do is get out on a boat because there ain't a damn thing to see in Palawan. Well, I mean, besides the underground river, that's Palawan. Actually, that's Palawan. The underground river, Puerto Princesa, it's freaking slum. Okay, there's nothing to do there. There's some night shows on the water, but you can't go in the water. The water was brown. Brown where if you're standing in it ankle deep, you can't see your ankles. You can't see your toes. That's the way it was when I was there. Christmas week 2014, 2013, 2014? Yeah, 2014 or 15. It's a filthy place, Puerto Princesa. Expensive hotels, garbage bars, because I would look inside the door of a bar and I would say, I wouldn't know it. I might go in a high class restaurant where they serve alcohol, but the shit they have in Puerto Princesa, that's garbage. That's for different kind of people that I stay with. All right, so good for you. You're going to travel around the Philippines. If you're going to go to Palawan, you want to go to Coron, which is a 7-hour boat ride from the top end of Palawan. Coron is where they do a lot of, if you're a scuba diver, that's where the best diving is. You should look it up. Coron, Palawan. So Larry P says he prefers Bohol. Yeah, I got to tell you, I've been to the so-called best places in the Philippines, and before they built the airport in Bohol, even before that, Bohol was the nicest island in the Philippines. I don't care what anybody says. Nobody's ever going to change my mind about that. Now, there's other islands that are supposed to be as beautiful, like Sigior Island is very calm and relaxed, but they don't have white sand beaches in Sigior. They have rocks. They have some small stretches of sand beaches, but they don't have the same kind of, and they don't have reefs right off the beach where there's an abundance of marine and marine life. So, no, I only wanted you to go to Coron so that you could get on a boat and do wreck diving off Coron. Coron is this giant slump. Okay, just a big slump, and it's one of the dirtiest places I've ever been in the Philippines altogether. I said what I meant when I said go to Coron is to go to Coron and then go uh, get on a. You can't even the water in Coron when you pull up to the pier where they have the old zip line from one end of the pier to the other. If the towers are there, the wires are not weren't up the last time I was there, but the towers were there still. And that's where you want to go to one of those local places and go diving. But if you're not a diver, you could still go out on a boat. But you need to be 5 miles away from the city of Coron before you see clean water. Well, you need to be 2 miles away before the water cleans up, but it's still bacteria infested. You need to be 5 miles away before you start getting ocean flows through those mountains. You need to go out on a boat. The boat ride that we took to go wreck diving was only going 15, 20 knots, but it took an hour. So I'm thinking that it was 20 miles away, 40 kilometers away. That is some beautiful snorkeling and diving. If you're not a certified scuba diver, at least open water too, you can't do a penetration into a wreck. But if you're an open water one, you can do some diving there. That's really pretty, the wrecks. But if you want to see the beauty of the Japanese World War II wrecks in Palawan, I think you need to be at least an open water two. And um, and if you're not a good diver and you've never done a penetration, and if you're afraid of small, tight, dark areas, and you have tendency to panic, then wreck diving is not for you. Wreck diving is you have to be 100% attentive at all times. There's all kinds of stuff inside a wreck or outside the wreck that will cause your death. Okay, um, uh, it's hard to describe how many ways you can die inside a wreck. So if you're really not a certified scuba diver, you don't have a lot of diving experience going in a wreck in 100+ feet of water with if you're not an oxygen hog, you're gonna get 9 minutes to 12 minutes of bottom time and inside the wreck. You don't have time for an emergency in a wreck. Plus, you're gonna panic and chew up oxygen many times fast, and you don't have time to panic, and then you don't have time sometimes to find your way out because once you stir up the mud, if there's not a good flow of water through the wreck, there's silt on the bottom. So if you dropped your weight belt and you went down looking for your weight belt, you're not going to find it. Now you have to find something else that's going to compensate for what the weight you have, because you need a weight belt to get to the ascension line. You're going to need a weight belt if you're buoyant like me. Otherwise, you're going to have to be a really good swimmer and swim on a down angle to the ascension line, the descent and ascent line, and you're going to be doing it alone because usually if that happens, your dive master is somewhere around. But if you go in a different direction and the water is foggy, well, I don't know how I got on this subject about wreck diving, but if you want some of the most beautiful diving in the world and you're good at it and you don't panic and you're at least in open water too, and you got some serious dive time behind you and you want to do some wreck diving, Palawan is as good of wreck diving as you're ever going to find anywhere in the world. And it's warm water. I go down with no suit. I just go down with shorts and a shirt. Warm water at 100+ feet. That's not normal, but that's normal for here in the Philippines. Larry P says he dove Corone in a wreck dive. It's not safe. What wasn't safe about that? That's what I just said. Well, it's safe if you know how to do wreck diving. Okay, that's the difference. Wreck diving is completely safe if you're a good diver. I'm not saying you're a bad diver, but you have to have the mentality to know you need to keep your wits about you. When you're underwater in 110 feet of water and you're inside a wreck, it's just all you, Larry. The dive master is there to keep you alive, but it's all you, and you're the one who can screw it up. And I've seen people that thought they were good divers screw it up, and that's it. Lights out, done. They make it to the surface and they're dead a few hours later, a few days later. So you can't panic. You really can't panic. So it's not that wreck diving is not safe. Wreck diving is very safe. In fact, diving is safe if you know how to do it. But if you're not good at it and you panic or you're afraid of it, don't do it. Just don't do it. Don't try to push your boundaries beyond what you're capable of doing. I have friends of mine that did that and panicked in deep water and popped up. They were going to run out of air and they forgot all their training. Well, they had no training. They forgot all their training that they can slowly rise up as slow as the slowest bubble and still have plenty of air in their lungs to keep breathing out. Instead, they panic, go up to the surface, get the bends, and 48 hours later, they're dead. And in the Philippines, you're definitely going to die because they don't have a decompression chamber anywhere that I know of. I think there's one in Manila, so you'd be 6 or 8 hours out if it was working. If it wasn't being used, you're basically going to die if you get if you get decompression sickness. Okay, so Rudy Gallos is talking about two islands, Surigao Island. Never been there. Supposed
No,
what? Surigao?
that's Mindanao.
Have you been there?
No, I heard that it's nice there.
Daisy's been there. Not Daisy lived in Mindanao, but she's never been there. You heard it was nice there, though, right? What do you have?
Cake.
What?
My cake.
Birthday cake? Okay.
Yes.
So now I don't, in Samal Island, never been there. Rudy, I would not say that any of them are or not. I've seen videos of some of them, and for me, they're not that pretty. I could tell you that if you came to my house, you would say, "Well, this is as good as it gets. Doesn't get any better than this." Okay, I could tell you that for a fact. So all those other places, when you take everything into account, that whether they have hospitals and medical care, and whether there are movie theaters. In fact, I found out the cost of a movie theater. I thought it was in Cebu, a movie was $7 a person when I went in 2014 in January or February. It was $7 a person, and I found out the price of all time all night at the ICM Mall. No, at the BQ Mall. Movies were 100. I think it's 120 pesos or $2.50 per person. I thought that was a great price. Um, so anyway, so when you take into all the other islands what they have to offer, clean water, clean water swimming, clean water diving, nothing compares to Bohol. And accessibility to malls, food stores, transportation, shipping companies, post offices, police, uh, whatever they provide, police services, fire department services, whatever the services that are provided by the Philippines government. Bohol has the best of any place I've been to. Okay, so when you take it all into general account, I should have never set foot on Cebu. I should have come to Bohol and devoted my life to Bohol when before it became this tourist industry, and uh, not set up a business, but never have wasted money and time going to other places. That's what I mean. It was just a way. I had to go see those other places because I heard so many wonderful things about the other places. But all the wonderful places that I went to were nothing compared to Bohol once I got here. So, not putting any other place down, but in general, when you take a quality of life survey across the spectrum, none of them compared to Bohol that I've seen so far, and I have no desire to look anyplace else. It's too late for that. So Warren H says, I was in a wreck and the silt made a complete blackout. I ended up upside down and didn't know it. I would have paid money saying I was the right way up. That's what happens when you're neutrally buoyant. At least you were set neutral, because if you weren't set, you were set up right. Your buoyancy was correct, but you don't know if you're up or down, and you don't know which direction you're going in. If you're neutrally buoyant, there's no gravity, and this is what I mean about your some semblance of sanity. When you are neutrally buoyant in a blackout from silt, like Warren H is talking about, that's when you need to just calm down, stop your movement, just stop, and release a breath of bubbles from your regulator. And then whatever way the bubbles go, that's up. That's always up. Now you have a choice to go in a direction, but at least you won't be headed in the wrong direction. But when you're upside down, you can still hear the bubbles going away from you. But if you weren't breathing, if you were using a rebreather, you wouldn't know which way you are. You'd have to release oxygen or carbon dioxide to figure out where you are. Wreck diving is a whole nother monster. Not the most dangerous diving, but I'll give you a statistic. What is the most dangerous dive is cave diving. I'm not a certified cave diver. I am not a certified cave diver. I never had the wish, want, will, or desire to go into anything bigger than I think it's the Devil's Ear in Florida. Although I did a couple of small penetrations into some caves, not so I wouldn't necessarily say that I did something I shouldn't have done. I was with a certified cave diver, but we didn't do a deep penetration. And I have no video of it. I have no pictures of it. I don't remember the name of the place or the name of the cave. Even the cave that I did dive in Florida, I think it was called the Devil's. Could have been the Devil's Ear or the Devil's Eye. I don't remember. It was in South Central Florida, Clearwater, Florida, something like that. I did that a couple of days in a row. It was a beautiful dive, but that's the only real cave I could say I was in. But the statistics on cave diving are as follows. When I got certified in 1980, the statistics were that there has never once been a successful cave diving rescue attempt. In other words, once somebody was in a cave and the people that went in with them came out and said, there's a problem. And by the time the rescuers got to the cave, every person was dead. There's never been a successful cave diving attempt as of 1980. And and that followed through with, however, no certified cave diver has ever needed to be rescued, has ever died. So all the cave diving deaths that occurred up until 1980, a certain qualification for cave diving is required. If they had the qualification to do the dive that they went on, nobody died. If they didn't, if they weren't qualified to do the dive that they were, the penetration they were doing, and they died, that means they weren't qualified. So I don't know how you qualify. I think it's how much of a penetration, how much time you're going to spend in the cave, and how deep the cave is, and the caves are rated like on a scale of whatever, maybe 1 to 100, how hard they are. I don't know anything about, never read about it. Remember my instructor telling me something about it and something I wasn't interested in, but that's a lot more dangerous. I wouldn't do it. I have no. I'm not. I'm not. My size doesn't allow me to be a cave diver now, and even when I was thin, I wouldn't do cave diving. I had no wish to go in. Cave diving, is a beautiful thing. But, these guys that get extreme cave diving, they go in one tank in, one tank out with what a backup pony tank, and when you got one at the entrance, you got one in case you run out of air. Yeah, you have three lights, you have two depth gauges, you have two calculators, you have your if usually you have a side setup tank which they didn't have back then, so you had to carry in, three. If you go in with two tanks and a pony bottle, that's just a crazy amount of equipment. And if let's just say you lose your mask, geez, and you got to follow a line, and then if you don't, there's no line there, you have to lay the line, and if some asshole cuts the line for some reason, you're a dead man. That just didn't interest me. Too many complications can happen. So when Warren was in a complete blackout, ended up upside down and didn't know it. So the only way that you could know that you were upside down is to watch where the bubbles went. Now you can't see the bubbles if you're in a complete blackout, but you can feel them go around your face. So if you have your head down, the bubbles are going around your neck. If you have your head up, they're going away from you. Sideways, the same thing. Yeah, wreck diving is I love it. And every corner inside a wreck. By the way, is Jeff Lee Brown a certified wreck diver? Open water too? Or I don't think so. I'll have to put that in the list of shit that Jeff Lee Brown has never done in his little, tiny, insignificant life on the flat Earth. So, um, Well, you know, when you say you were Scott Del Fuego was certified in Mexico, this is the this is the fallacy about divers. Okay, in 3 days you can get certified here now in Bohol. It used to be two. It used to be 2 days. Okay, now back in 1980 you could get certified in 1 day in America. Back in 1980, you could get certified in 1 day in America. You like when you went to the Bahamas, they would give you like a full 1 day course, and the next day they'd go out and check you in on your dive and give you a certification. That was different than it is now. The course I took was by Ed and Jean Tiedemann's Dive Center in Long Island. Tiedemann's Dive Center, Tiedamans. Ed and well, finish, yeah.
That's long time.
Yeah, okay. So what you want to take? So Ed and Jean Tiedemann's Dive Center. I forgot where it was. That's how long ago that was. 1980. The course was 30 hours of theory and testing. 30 hours of testing and theory. So it was you went to school for 3 hours and you read books and they gave you examples on a blackboard or with a projector, with a projection TV screen. And then you took a test, and then they give you another piece of information, and you took a test and another piece of information. That was 3 hours on Tuesday. Let's just say it was a Tuesday. They had classes all during the week. And then on Thursday or Friday, then you do 3 hours in the pool. That's week one. Okay. Then week two, now that gives you time to reread your information. Week two, 3 hours theory and verbiage and reading and then testing, and then 3 hours in the pool. And that went on for 10 weeks. So it was a 10-week course. So you had 10 weeks to let all that sink in, and you had 10 pool sessions for 3 hours with 20 students. My brother and I took that together. We were the 18. We did everything first. We got the highest marks in the class always. That was the one thing that we did that we really enjoyed together, because we have two different opinions on life and values. But anyway, we were the 18. We were the top of the top of the top, and by far we were the 18. So we did everything first. We got the highest marks. We swam the furthest underwater. Well, we had the best time underwater for the 75-foot time under the pool. We both made it the first time, 75 feet underwater with just a mask, swimming underwater, not on the surface with your hands like that. And so we had 10 weeks to train. Other guys go on a weekend vacation, it's a 5-day vacation, and over the weekend they have 2 hours of theory and they have 2 hours in the pool and they get a certification where they could get the tanks filled. That's dangerous. So, and then they don't go diving again for 2 or 3 years. And that's even more dangerous because now they have a certification card that's good for life and they don't even remember what they did 2 weeks ago, let alone 2 years ago underwater. That's dangerous. Diving should be something that you keep up with, or it's just in your nature to do it. Okay, so when Scott says he was certified in Mexico, that's dangerous. And you can die in 6 feet of water. And that's all the stuff that was part of the theory that we learned. Now, I don't know what Scott's class was, so we're going to go down here and see if he... Okay, so Scott here is... Okay, so here's the answer to my question. It was 3 days there, 5 hours classroom, pool instruction, and then 2 dives. 3 days there, 5 hours of classroom. That's okay. Pool instruction and then 2 dives. It's okay. Better than a lot of places, but it's not. It doesn't prepare you for what. You're not going to get your open water 2 out of that, which is not much more. Not much more than an open water 1, but it is different. And it's just not enough class. It's not enough theory, and it's not enough water time. 2 hours pool instruction and then 2 dives. We did that class, and then we both went to Florida Keys to Marathon. We dove the Helma Hooker. That was the first dive. I don't remember what it was, but it was the Helmer Hooker. That's the name I remember, out of Marathon, Florida. But before we did the Helmer Hooker, we did the blasting hole, where they used to drop bombs during World War II and make craters in the coral. We did that, and we did some slate pit that was there, some sort of coral pit. I forgot what that was too, but we did 10 dives before we did, and we did 10 dives with an instructor, each dive being a half hour to an hour and a half before we got our open water 1. That was 10 dives. And then we spent, I think it was 10 days or 11 days. And then the next vacation we got our open water 2. Then at the end of the 10 dives, we did the Helma Hooker, but we were with just 1 dive master and 2 for 2 people. So, and one was a qualified person, and 1 was the dive master. So we basically had 2 people watching us. It was a pretty good. They run the best dive shop that I've ever seen. So I don't know all of them, but there were other people that, yeah, we only had 5 hours. Yeah, okay, 5 hours is good. That's good for you. Yeah, you could do like a recertification course, Scott. It's really fun. I know you said you're going to come to the Philippines. They have some good dive masters here. I got to tell you, every dive master I dove with, even they're Filipino, they're very attentive. You can tell that they're keeping you alive if that's what's necessary. They're very attentive. Well, the lady that I dove with in Palawan, now she was a good dive master. She was really, really good. I mean, it just doesn't get any better than that. She was like my instructor, Jeannie Tiedemann. She was really good. She was just really good. So, and I've been with other dive masters also. A lot of them are very good. In other words, you have to have a certain knowledge to be a dive master. I could become a dive master, but I have no wish to have a dive boat. So why would I become a dive master? Yeah, you can do. Yeah, they have recertification courses. It's really good to do that too. Thank you, Warren. No, it's not in the St. James River. You could look it up. Uh, the devil's eye or the devil's ear. It's got the cleanest water in the world in it. You can see a person's eyes through a face mask 100 feet away. And if they take their mask off, you can see their face from 100 feet away in the cave. Well, actually 70, 77 or 80 feet. That's the mouth of the cave's out a little further. You could see their face though. That's how clear the water that comes out of the ground. Okay, so we're at 101. I'm going to end this at 1:30. So that's 29 minutes. It's going to end early because that's what I wish to do. I just soaked my foot. I did not eat much of a breakfast. Daisy gave me a few slices of. We ate enough. Really, we ate last night, didn't we, honey?
Yeah, we did.
We had some good foods last night. We had Daisy described it before, but we had. There's this place, Payag, Payag, in Alona Beach. It's right across the street from McDonald's on the main road. It was always a relatively busy place when I've been here for 5 years now. Okay, it was always relatively busy. But then again, a lot of times when I would go to Alona Beach, I wouldn't see it at night because I would take a shortcut through the parking lot. There's a parking lot that when you go through the parking lot, you miss Payag by about 75 to 100 feet. Not much, but you miss it. So you wouldn't see inside the restaurant. It's an open wall deal. But the food there, there's always people in it, but you go to every other restaurant around it, Chinese, Korean, Japanese, they're all empty. And this place always has people in it. But last night when we got in, we couldn't even get through we had to wait for a table to be available. And now we've gone there twice, right, Daisy?
Yeah,
Twice. And Daisy had the same thing, and I had something different last night. And everything, well, the food was good. It was just really, really, really good. And the lumpia, you're making lumpia now? Ah, the lumpia was a big lumpia. It's like an egg roll. It was pretty good. Wasn't anything compared to Daisy's lumpia, but it was good. But Daisy's lumpia is way, way different. She puts more meat in it and more garlic and more onions. This was kind of like the lumpia was good, but the fried chicken, I mean the barbecue chicken is barbecued on real charcoal. And the thing that makes this place famous, apparently, from the Zorro. I call him Zorro. Zorro is that the owner makes a special sauce and only he knows how to make the sauce, which I believe because it was damn near the best barbecue sauce I ever had. Wow, yeah, that place is really good. That had really good food, Larry. Um, yeah, it's like but you look at it and it's a very dark wooden orientated dark brown on brown on brown on brown. You look at it, you go, oh, not like not bright, but not something that we're used to. Typical Filipino, but and the wood, it's nice woodwork and stuff. It's just dark. When you look inside, even in the daytime, it's a dark place. But they have lights, but it just the decor is dark. So the one thing that Maxwell didn't like, they have these little fried crabs. They're about this big. The whole crab, that's the legs and the body, and they put it in some kind of batter. It's almost tasteless. I wouldn't suggest that, and I would never. Okay, Daisy, let me see. What is that? This is the crab, the whole crab. The legs are missing off this one, but this is the whole body of the crab itself and the legs. Now, Maxwell didn't enjoy these, and actually, I gotta tell you, they taste better today than they did last night. So I was gonna say I wouldn't. Uh, it's I think they put it in a fish batter, but it also tastes like crab. That wasn't that bad. Maybe because we had so many other. We had pork with soy sauce on it. Maybe this tasted bland. It didn't taste bad, and they were cooked properly, but they were bland. Probably because we had soy sauce and several other types of spicy sauces, and even hot sauce. That didn't taste bad, did it, Daisy?
No, wala.
Daisy likes it. Okay, so now I could say that everything we had there was pretty good because it didn't taste as good, near as good as it just did now. So it was cool. It was this was warm, and last night's crabs were cold. It was good. I would have them. I would go there and have that. And the prices are way really cheap. I mean, um, the fried, excuse me, the roasted chicken breast comes with the wing. Do we have one of those, Daisy?
Mhm.
You have it over there?
With the wing?
Yeah, that I could show
No.
half.
Take a look.
Okay. I'll show you what the roasted breast looks like. Well, it had a breast and it had a wing. It wasn't overcooked. It wasn't undercooked. It was cooked perfect. Whoever's at the grill on the charcoal was doing a good job. So it's about this long, about 10 inches long, and it's a full breast, and then the wing.
That's mine. Yeah.
Okay, here it is. So it's well, maybe this one is about 8 inches long, and it comes the nice char broiled on the outside. You can see the char broiling, and maybe it's 8 or 9 inches long, and the wing is crispy, and the skin on the chicken is crispy. There's no fat on the skin. In other words, they put it on the grill so close to the grill it makes the skin crispy. There's no fat in the skin. You could eat any piece of the skin on this thing. Now I didn't taste any fat at any time. Now that it's not so hot, it's going to taste different. But no, it's no fat. Okay, honey, yeah, I'll put it right here. So that piece of chicken that you just saw, and one shish kebab about that long of beef, about not such a big, not big pieces of beef, less than an inch and a what? Pork. One shish kebab of pork with just sauce on it, broiled on the open flame. That was 179 pesos, right? 175. So $3 would be 100. It would be that was $3.50 for the chicken and the pork shish kebab, but unlimited rice. So if you and the cup of rice usually is 20 pesos. So if you have 3 cups of rice, that would be 60 pesos worth of rice. The prices are good. Okay, you're not going to beat the prices there. So you're talking about $3.50 for a good dinner, and it has the accoutrements on the table. There's napkins, plenty of forks and knives. They give you real knives, real forks, and soy sauce. And what was the name of the other sauce that was there, Daisy?
Patis.
Huh?
Patis.
Patis?
With S. Patis.
Patis. Okay, I don't know. What is it made out of?
Look.
Okay, so it's another. There's soy sauce. It comes with suka, which is vinegar and the spicy peppers, the very hot peppers, in a dish that you could dip your barbecue beef in, and then you have suka and that other pasis, whatever that is. There's four different, three different flavors for accoutrements, and then with plenty of napkins. So for $3.50, you're gonna have dinner, and you can have unlimited rice. So I had two rices, maybe three, and then that went my diet. But it was the rice is good rice, and when we had that other dish, what was that? The name of that nika peka, peka nika, the vegetable dish. All right. Well, anyway, the food at Payog was very good, and it was the prices. You're not. Where are you going to eat for $4? Where are you going to eat for $3.50 and say that was a good meal and be happy about it? Not a lot of places.
Pinakbet.
Okay, tiny crabs. We're up to that, Scott. Okay, I'm trying to get through this. Okay, where's Bosco? Where is it? Okay, this is the name of the vegetable dish. I mixed this in with. Now, once I tasted this dish, now I don't know how much that dish was. It was not a lot of pesos, 130 pesos for a bowl about that big and that high. I was amazed at the amount. And once I put that on top of my rice, I was done with the chicken. I said, I'll have that chicken tomorrow. These vegetables and rice. That was it. I was done. I just stopped eating the beef and I mean the pork, and I stopped eating the chicken. It was amazing, that dish. So let's go through the videotape. Let's see what we got here. I love hot sauce, Warren. Yeah, I like hot sauce myself. It's not hot. What's the name of those little peppers that are very hot that we minced up that we have made pepper out of? What is the name of the peppers that we grinded up with? And Sealy. The Sealy peppers. Warren, we have what?
Native Sealy.
Native Sealy. They're little red and green peppers, about an inch long, inch and a quarter long. We have. I buy it by the kilo. It's 300 pesos per kilo. So we buy a full kilo because I know that a kilo does a certain job. Give me one of the bottles from the refrigerator. And this is what we do with the peppers. Okay, so we take a full gallon, a 1.5 gallon pot, stainless steel pot, and when we soak the Sealy in water. No, not this, the big bottle, son. We soak the Sealy in water, and we if there's any dust or dirt or bugs or anything on it, because they don't need chemicals on the Sealy, just dirt, bugs, and dust. Okay, we take the gallon and a half stainless steel pot, and we throw the whole kilo in the water, and then we drain the water. I mix it. Don't mix it around with your hands. If you do this, folks, the hotness will go into your fingernails, and you'll want to go to the hospital or take a painkiller. Don't do it with your hands. Do it with a stick. You won't feel it right away. It might take a half an hour for the soak under your fingernails, and then you want to cut your fingers off. I'm telling you what you're going to want to do. Don't put your hands in a gallon of Sealy, a gallon and a half pot of Sealy with a kilo of Sealy in the pot. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Don't take my word for it. You do it, you'll wish you didn't do it. or you'll have, unless you have a painkiller that's going to knock it out, it's going to be there for about 15 to 20 hours, the pain. It's not going to go away. Don't do it. So we mix it with a stick, and then I just put a top over it and knock the water out of it. Then I do that again to get any dust out. You'll see some dust at the bottom, and you can eat dirt, by the way. It's not going to kill you, but you want to get off any bug crap and stuff like that. Then you put it in there, and then I let it dry. I literally put it on a bath towel, a regular bath towel, on top of a pizza box. And I put it out in the sun and I let it dry 100% to get the water off it. That's just me. Then I take those and I put it back. I put it all back in the pot, all of it. And then I take about 2 quarts of vinegar, 2 quarts of vinegar, and I dump it into the pot, and also take about a half a quart of olive oil or good oil, but not vegetable oil. I use olive oil, but now I won't be able to do it again next year unless I buy more olive oil. But I take about a half a quart of olive oil, and the reason for that is so that when I'm chopping it up with a Black & Decker chopper, one of those ones that you could put in a cup and make a sherbet or whatever out of it, I'm gonna have to get another blender. That I broke my Black & Decker food mincer chopper up or whatever the thing. The motor burnt out, so the bearing burnt out. And I could take it apart and then look for a bearing, or I could buy one for $20, and it will last me 4 more years. So I don't know that I want to take it apart. I might take it and take it apart and look for a bearing here. Finding stuff here is impossible. So anyway, and I grind it up into a pumice powder, I grind it up into a pulp where there's nothing bigger than a seed. And I do not take the stems off the ceiling. I grind up the stems and everything. Because if you were to bite a stem off a piece of ceiling, that's where the nutrients and all the stuff are going into the top of the ceiling. That's what brings the stuff from the tree. And those are hot all by themselves. There's no doubt about that. Those are hot by themselves. So I don't take the stem off. I grind it all up, and then I put it in 4 bottles like this. 4 bottles. It fills up exactly 4 bottles and 1 pint. That's the way it works out. And inside here is Daisy. Inside here is just a pulp. Now, and then when I close this off, I also mix in, I'm thinking I mix in salt, and I probably mix in 4 ounces of salt into the whole process, which preserves. Yeah, no, give me this. No, not the vinegar. Give me the paste that we have in the small jar that we take the sealy out of. Yeah, and give me a fork. I'll show it to you. So, Tenador. Give me 1 Tenador.
Where the
What?
start in the top.
She couldn't find the balut. We went looking for the balut. Now here is the other jar. Now I keep this wrapped up in. I take an old sauce, plastic / aluminum foil sauce, and I wrap it around the glass. And I wrap it around the glass sealy jar also. I don't like glass. If it falls and it breaks, it shatters all over the place. That's why you see this wrapper on here. So if this is closed and it falls on the floor and it breaks, the contents are contained, but more importantly, the glass doesn't shatter and blow apart and picking it out. Daisy saw what happened when we had an apartment with a tile floor. The Tile makes glass blow up. It doesn't just break the glass, it makes it blow up. The frequency level of the breaking blows the glass up. It'll go 30 feet across any tile floor. So this is the final product right here.
Yeah, yummy.
And that's it. It's
You
just,
can eat that.
oh yeah, if you ate that, you'd be in a world of doo-doo.
No,
Oh.
you're a man.
Does Jeff Lee Brown show you stuff like this and how to make it? I don't think so. He might have a special recipe for a ladyboy toss. That might be his. Jeff Lee Brown probably has a special recipe to extract toss from a ladyboy, but that's probably his only, saving grace when it comes to slopping something down. So let's go over here. So to answer Scott's question, there was no balut. There was no balut, and we went to 3 different town areas to look for it. It wasn't like we just went to one place. There was no balut. Daisy went to one place, and they said come back after 6 o'clock, and maybe they were going to have balut. And by that time, we had gotten involved with Maxwell and Angeli. Ebut Oi is a few of the trolls, viewers that try to get trash on good people. All right. I don't. Joe Blow made another retracted message. Why do you post? I don't understand why you post something and retract it. I'm not sure why you're doing that. I have not seen anything I wouldn't let go. All right. No, that's your choice. Warren H., if you ever do get the hot liquid under your fingernails, cuticles, you should soak your hands in oil, and in about an hour, the pain will start to go. That's an old chef's trick. That might work if it's under your fingernails, but what I was talking about is this. When you're moving your hands around in the water and it goes under your cuticles, I don't see how the oil would get it out. I don't see how you could get the oil in there once the water or the vinegar is under your cuticles. Under your fingernails, okay, but under your cuticles, the next day you're going to wake up in pain. Scott says the restaurant near me gets live Alaskan king crab, about 4 or 5 pounds. So good, actually get full of crab. That's amazing. I've had Alaskan king crab that was supposed to be fresh. I don't know. In New York, very rare that you're going to get it fresh. I never saw the whole crab live. That's for sure. So it might have been shipped in fresh. It was pretty good. They showed them your earrings, Daisy, from Warren H. Yeah, baby. Look at that. She looks like a model. Look, modeling ear. Oh, the hair is in front of your ear. You have none of that. Look. Go ahead. Push the hair back like that. There you go. Now show them. Yeah. Yeah, baby. Look at that. They glow. Thank you, Warren. Look how happy she is. She's a very happy girl. Didn't take much, but you did it, Warren. You achieved happiness in Daisy May. And she never asked me for a pair of earrings. What's really upsetting is I never thought about getting her a pair of earrings. I don't look at her as not being beautiful just the way she is with no earrings. But they sure do make her, they give a certain body to her face, a certain, change the design of her face. Very nice. So Scott has had fresh Alaskan king crabs. I've never had live crabs where they brought them into the restaurant. But I did enjoy them. They were always way expensive in New York. No, Samuel. We mix. Oh yeah. By the way, when we do grind up the hot peppers, we do it outside. We tried to do it inside one day, and it burnt up our eyes and our nose, and we were just crying. And we had to go bring the stuff out on the deck anyway. So last time I did it on the top of the traco in the backyard because the wind was blowing over the traco, and the wind was just blowing there. It was nice, but yeah, you can't do it indoors. All that vinegar evaporating, the fumes just burn up your eyes. It was good. Yeah, Scott, you said that you like that. Um, there's so many things I have to write down. Yeah, yeah. Dave's just got to make a note. Wow, where's Bosco lives in Mexico, so you can get a four 4 pound full lobsters. 4 pound lobsters, a pretty damn big lobster. Wow. I've I've seen 4 pound lobsters. When I was worked on a lobster boat, once we got, I don't think we ever caught a bigger than 2.5 or 3 pound lobster. There were bigger lobsters that I saw at the fish house when we got in at the end of the day, but the biggest one we ever pulled up on the boat was maybe 2.5 or 3 pounds. Some days we would get all of them over 2 pounds. You'd get like 20 in a trap, and the trap would be full. You'd pull the trap up and say, something's wrong here. And the trap would have 20 lobsters in it. And each lobster was 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds or better. All right, so that's cheap. Yeah, those are probably the Caribbean lobsters. Okay, so we're going to end this live stream in like 2 minutes. So if you guys want to say goodbye, I'm getting really hungry, and or I could just leave it on. Okay, I'm down to the bottom. So what I'm doing is I'm going to copy the rest of the. Maybe you have 5 more minutes.
Who give the other one? The chat, the name on the top, yeah?
Above this, yeah?
Okay.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't matter. I can't go up past that. It's okay. Hold on. Hold on, Daisy. I'll get. Yeah, I would say there's about 5 minutes left here. And then I'm going to end it. I'm getting tired. I'm tired from not sleeping well last night. Not that I didn't sleep well, but went to bed at 12:30 and I was up at 8, so 7.5 hours. But I also got up in the middle of the night for about 1.5 hours to get Warren's thank you video posted. So I'm guessing I got 6 hours sleep last night at best. And we did a tremendous amount of walking in Lona Beach yesterday. We walked up and down and around, and was probably standing on my feet for better than. We got to the beach. Oh, when we left the house, we got invited to a birthday party on a white sand beach. I'm going to try to get that posted to Patreon at the $20 level. It was a really nice party, but the people that were at the party did not want to be on YouTube. I don't know why. And I don't really care why. It's a public beach. So we got invited to this party and we took a ride over there. And it was a nice party. It was a really nice party. I didn't expect to go there, but I did anyway. I don't mind traveling around a little bit. And it's one of the bartenders. You know, we could have went and visited Ray last night at the bar. One of the bartenders. What?
Wait, I will write down the name.
This guy? This man?
Yeah, Thomas.
Yeah, Thomas. Yeah, that's right, Thomas. One of the bartenders that now he's a friend of mine. I've known him for about 5 years. One of the bartenders in Lona Beach, he had to go by the house to do something, and he invited me to a beach where he lives. So he invited me to his son's birthday party, and I've always liked him. So we went, and we had a great time. So here we go. Where is that? Down there. And I'm just going to save that. I don't see it. Okay, I don't see it. Print screen. Back to this over here. Why? Oh, I printed the screen. Right, that's right. Okay, that's right. Okay, got. Oh, now I have to print the screen again. Okay, I removed it. Okay, I got it. I getting tired here. All right, so I'll go back to the super chat and go to the bottom, see what happened. Okay. So whoever was here before, well, I think it was Blue Rose. You were going to post a link on something on that on him making somebody making fun of me that found in Manila.
Super chat.
A super chat.
Look down.
No, okay. Well, thank you. Rudy Gallus. Happy birthday, Daisy May. Come on down here. Oh, you could sing. You want to sing from up there? Okay. Rudy Gallus, thank you. So say something to Rudy in Visaya. Come on.
Salamat kaayo sa kwarta na imuhang gihatag, Rolly Gallos, and wish you good health always and bless you.
And Mayan Bagong Tuig, yeah?
Malipayong bagong tuig. Happy New Year.
She forgets how to say Happy New Year. I have to teach her each day how to teach her how to say it in Visaya. So, and Rudy, before I forget, if I know that you're not going to get that program to get that thing out of your drive, but if you did get it, I would appreciate it. Just I have my reasons. So if it ever happens, it does. If it doesn't happen, I understand. I have a computer with stuff in the drive that I have to buy I have to take it out and figure out how to read the drive from 2000, probably 10 or 11. So I'm looking at the computer and I don't know how to get the information out of it. So I understand what you're saying. First of all, I'd have to get the drive awake. I don't know much about that stuff, so I couldn't blame you. But if you ever did get it, I'd appreciate it. So you will count, Daisy. Thank you, Rudy.
Thank you very much. And we will sing 1, 2, 3. Thank
You wait. What? Go ahead. Do it again.
1, 2, 3.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Rudy Gallus. Salamat. Whoa. Salamat, Rudy. Yeah, so Rudy just left a message. Thank you, Rudy. Yeah, I have notes on Jeff Lee Brown. So if any of you guys out there are Jeff Lee Brown associates, tell him I'm going to devote 4 hours of my life tomorrow to helping him move through his mentally challenged environment. Because Jeff Lee Brown is one of those people that he's here today, and then you find out a few weeks later, everything you think he's very happy and all of that stuff, and he's a suicidal type of guy. Okay, so hold on now. Just Rudy, give me. Rudy, do you have? And if you don't have Facebook, I understand. Okay, so if you don't have Facebook, what I can do, I'll tell you what I can do right now, is I can. One second. Okay, I got this, and then I have to save this file. What I can do right now, if you don't have Facebook, what you can do is put your email address up on the screen. It should go up as a hidden item. It shouldn't be visible. But if it is visible, it'll be visible for 5 or 6 seconds, and I'll copy it. Okay. So if you can put your email up on the screen, do you have Skype? Before you go through that, do you have Skype? Or if you put your email up on the screen, I'll send you an email right now. I'll also send you a list of videos that I have that I send to special people. And that would be up to you, not on Skype. Okay, all right. It took me years. Okay, I got it. I'm gonna go right to your. I'm going there right now, so we don't forget that. So you guys going to chit chat between each other. Where was that? Okay, so I'm going to Yahoo. So you're going to see a mail come through from Yahoo. It's going to have it's going to be quite a big mail. It's going to have the videos, the Obama videos. If you could, okay, Warren H., I see your mail back to me. Okay, so let me find out my sent mails, and then I'm going to forward this mail to Rudy Gallus. So which one was this? Boy, I got a lot of mail here. Okay, you might see the name Steve on this. Steve McClellan. He's a member of my Patreon community. So you might see his name on there. I'm going to forward this to you now. So just give me a second, but it's coming up on the page. Okay. Okay, that mail is now sent. So it is going to load now. It's going to send. No, it won't send. Hold on. I don't know why. I need to open up something else. Just hold on a minute. All right, so why won't it send? It looks like everything is correct. Oh, wait a second. I see. No? I'm still working on getting this. I don't know why it won't go. Hold on. Sorry about this. I'm just trying to get this thing. Something is wrong here. Okay, print. All right, it's asking me to reload, not paste it. Okay. All right. So why am I not able to do this? Okay. And I'm sending it again. No. Please correct the email address before sending. It won't let me send that email address. All right. So thank you, Where's Bosco? It won't let me send that email address. And I don't know why. Dennis Adams says a USB external hard drive enclosure will work to extract files from a hard drive as long as the drive works. Search it to make sure it will work in your case. All right, Rudy, that email just refuses to go through. All right, so I'm not going to worry about that. It's okay. You're not up to the point of finding that, and we can do this. Yeah, that's the same one I have. That's exactly the same one I have. Okay, copy it, and I'll hide it again. So I'll try it again. That's the one I have. I even deleted it and made sure that it was a comma. I mean a dot instead of a comma in between .com. Yeah, that's the same. I'll try to send it again. Nope, it won't let me send that email. And Daisy's sitting right here with me. Just won't let me send it. It doesn't matter. Okay, it's not going to go when I'm. Something is off a little bit. Well, I did copy it. It's easy enough to remember. Maybe you know what I could do. Let me type it in. Let me type it in. Maybe there's something that's not working because of that. Let me type it in. It's easy enough to remember. Yeah, that's why is this working like this? Perfect. Okay. Yeah. In, and if it doesn't work now, I'm going to say goodbye. I'm hungry, I'm tired, and it's sending. Okay, so whatever it was that was interfering with sending it before, that didn't allow it to be sent, when I typed it in, it worked. So, okay, let that be a lesson to us old timers, because something was off. Maybe it has something to do with YouTube's filters, where YouTube doesn't allow you to copy it. YouTube might not allow you to copy somebody's email address, and it might appear to be the right email address, but it might not be. They might put some sort of metadata in it where it doesn't work. But we got it. No? Well, I don't know, Warren. All I need to do now is I need to say goodbye. I'm very tired. I want to get working on Jeff Lee Brown project. Thank you, everybody, for stopping by. And Daisy, wait, let me put the thing. Look at Daisy's earrings. Looky. God day to everybody. And thank you, Warren H., for making Daisy May's 25th birthday the once in a lifetime thing. A special day in so many different ways. It would take 2 more hours to describe all the other things that worked out beneficial yesterday. So, God day to everybody from Michael Fazio
And this May
in the Philippines, baby. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Bye-bye, Warren, Rudy, Scott, Samuel, Larry, John, Princess Anne, and everybody else. Kiwi in the Philippines. Thank you. Let's see, who else? Let's say goodbye to everybody. We'll just spend a few minutes. Rudy, Princess, Warren, where's Bosco? Thomas, Ski. That time, Scott Del Fuego, Joe Blow. Where's Boss Joe Blow? One lonely man in the film. Oh, and bye Pamela Carr, because I know that you're out there watching and waiting for the right moment to pounce on Samuel with the wedding ring and the tickets for your honeymoon. I know you're out there. I know you're out there. I'm just reading some of the things, make sure I didn't miss too many comments here. Larry P., I mentioned you. Okay. That covers it. Thomas, and that last name that was impossible to pronounce. Humping Permy from Michael and
Busy May
in the Philippines, baby. I'm pushing that button. Tomorrow, Jeff Lee Brown, wake up call. Suicide is not an option, Jeff. Don't even go there. Nobody wants to see you commit suicide.